Oh man, getting a late start tonight. And we may be doing some live bug fixing at the start of the stream today. Hello everybody, hope you guys can hear me all right.
Following total atomic...
Anybody can hear me all right, let me know. Let's hop into the game and see if we can get this issue resolved. We are playing with a live beta code. And I'm okay with that. I'd rather butcher my save than your guys's. Tad quiet? Okay, let's see what's going on. Yeah, my desktop audio shows real quiet. Crank this up. Okay. Let's rearrange this thing a little bit. How about that? How's that? Game's a little loud. Okay, let's turn down the game sound. Audio down. Alright, we need some map action. So I think we finally have another like amazing fix coming to next patch. I'm testing it right now. I believe Prof finally has fixed the Caravan service system. So a lot of people complain about it being bugged, and it's been one of those things that's hard to replicate. And I think Prof finally figured it out today. The pug and call out like we do dog meat. That probably won't happen, but if you want your own Frenchie, you can get it at the pet store. But Cola's gonna be like our little like team mascot, and she's gonna stay at HQ in Chapter 3. All good now, awesome. But yeah, the there's a bug right now with Cola that lets you send her to HQ right now, and I'm just leaving it in even though I know it's there. But yeah, if you want to take your own Frenchie out, you can get one for sure. They're available after doing Old Balls quest and then doing the getting your pet store access to pet store to level 3, and I think you get pet store after you build. I don't remember how many building plans you have to build. You got to build a bunch of commercial plots and you get access to it. Oh no, we're over the limit here. It's so weird to get getting started so late. But I want to test this Caravan code, and I actually got to test a couple things. So we're gonna like do a few tests, and then I might have to roll back my save, and then you guys are gonna watch me do some live coding, so that'll be exciting. That'll be new. Some of you guys have asked for that. I don't think that's what most of you want though. Let's see, what do I have that's taking up all this space in my inventory? Fingerless leather gloves. That's one thing. All right, let's get rid of all this meat. Oh, I should go deliver. Speaking of Cola, oh that's right, old Paul's gone. Rest in peace. All right, bye corn. Yeah, I don't know why I'm carrying all. I think it's just my loot whoringness. I just like keep slamming on, collecting things I don't need. All right, there we go. Under the limit. Ta-da! Can't find the auto wire feature. All right, I can show you that, Kenneth. Oh, and it's 9 o'clock. So, all right, I'll get into it in just a second, Kenneth. All right, so welcome to the stream, everybody. Today we're gonna be doing some stuff that's a little bit different. So I have been kind of not really barreling through, but I've been like dead fire focused on the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 story, and we're basically at the end of the Chapter 2 story where there's a little bit of content left. There's like one more quest, and then the rest of it is just slowly finishing the Commonwealth Rising quest, like how to HQ. I'm just about done. So rather than just like rushing right through that, which I kind of was doing, I'm going to still finish it, but I am going to start doing some settler quests so I can send better settlers there, and that way we get some higher energy people. And the reason I'm doing that is not to like delay things, but because the HQ 2.0 patch is going to come out next month. So if I can just kind of extend this out a little bit longer, a few extra weeks, then I'll be able to show off all those features during my Let's Play in addition to you know, any videos I might make in like a patch video. So I figure that will be a lot of fun. So if you guys are new to the stream, I have a lot of trouble with paying attention to chat while I'm playing. You guys will find quickly that I have trouble paying attention to playing while I'm playing. So I tend to only look at chat periodically, most commonly when I'm in loading screens or when NPCs are talking. So if you want to catch my attention, make sure you add an @KingGath to your messages. And then any of you guys who feels like super chatting, just know that any of the money from that goes toward the cost of development. We put it into a big pool, and we use that for the various expenses for running the community or buying equipment for the team, etc. So that is not going to go direct to me. It's going to go direct to making this hopefully better experience for you guys. So yeah, all that out of the way, let's get to it. So today, right now, I mentioned a minute or two ago that we're fighting some bugs right now. So I implemented some code that I was sent this afternoon, and I want to get it working. Like it's going to be such a game changer for a lot of people who struggle with some of the basic mechanics of Sim Settlements 2, because it's one of those bugs that's it was very hard to replicate, and I'm pretty sure we've got it locked down now. So I'm doing a few things here. I'm trying to set up some Caravan service lines, because the Caravan services are kind of clutch with the SS2 gameplay loop, and for a lot of people they don't work as well as they should, so I'm trying to fix that now. So let's see, how about you? You're gonna go over here, work this Caravan services building. And I think we're short on resources for it, so we need to scrap some trees. And I apologize if my voice sounds a little nasally. I think I'm coming down with a cold. I'm not sure. I feel like a little tickle in my throat, but it also could just be from talking too much. I've been in crazy amounts of meetings this week for work. Alright, let's see here. Oh, there's more trees we can get rid of. Scrap, scrap, scrap. Alright, let's make sure this thing's on the right building plan. I think it is, because it says no other Caravan services in range. Oh, it's still unoccupied. So I'm still waiting for the assignment to go through. Where's my guy? Or my lady? Come here. I'm sure I assigned you, but... There we go. There's assignment. There's the construction. Alright, let's wait till the resources pop up and we'll see if our... Because the settlements I couldn't get connected before this fix were County Crossing and this one, Jamaica Plain, and one other one down at Somerville Place. And I think these two, the Taffington Boathouse and County Crossing, I just didn't have a Caravan services built, which is why those weren't building. And then while I was testing this off camera, I found out that there was a bug in the city plan code, and it might be live. I can't tell because I was tinkering with the city plan code this week. So it either is a bug that's live, or I just introduced it where city plans immediately skip to level 1. Is that something you guys experience? Is that happening in the live code and I just hadn't noticed it prior, or because I spend so much time testing with the single level plans that it just never clicked for me? Oh, and Kenneth, yeah, I was going to show you something. Oh, I just banged my microphone with my coffee. All right, let's head over here. So the power options, Kenneth, are under Manage, and then you go to Power Tools, and then you got all these auto wire settlement. In fact, I'm gonna run that. Why not? Yeah, wire it up, because I don't know if the wiring is decent in this design or not. It actually looks pretty good. I see a lot of wiring, but won't hurt anything if there's some excess things connected together. Now you do have to have F4SE for that to show up. So if you don't have it, it could be you're lacking F4SE. Auto wiring complete. All right. So yeah, F4SE. So it is a PC only feature, and on Xbox you probably have the menu, but there'll only be one. Actually, no, I don't know if you'll even have the menu. If you do have it, the only option will be faux power. Yeah, I think the faux power settlement option should be there if you're on Xbox. Which basically faux power just means make everything cost nothing. Okay, cool. So we're connected to the network. So let's look at our map. There we go. Nice, everything connected. So yeah, I think Pra did it. He's got the code all working. He showed me some screenshots of his saves working. So network code will be fixed in the next patch. Which, by the way, the next patch will not be this Friday, which it normally would have been. It's the 2 weeks, but next patch is going to be the 2.2.0 patch, which is going to be the massive HQ overhaul patch, and it's going to take me a few extra weeks to do. So still working away on it. So I'm basically I've just opted to stop hotfixing because it makes it a lot easier for file management if I don't, because it adds hours of file management to try and squeeze in hotfixes and to differentiate the code bases. So instead we're just going to delay it a little bit. Let's see here. So let's select the city plan. Actually, no, I think I need to. This is a bug I put down for myself. Is that for whatever reason, if you select a city plan and then you assign a leader after, it seems to randomize the city plan again, which that's not how it's supposed to be. So I gotta fix that. Because you should be able to select the city plan and then come over and assign someone and get it to work. That's how I would like it to be. Make it a little fewer steps. All right, so we're gonna assign here. And then we're gonna say no when it asks us to destroy, because I'm gonna use the ROTC city plans. I feel like I want to get more opportunity to see the bugs people have reported about ROTC, and then that'll give me more chance to see issues with level city plans. So yes, turtle down. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick save right here. Save ROTC or come on, county crossing test. Because here, when I did this off camera, about 2 minutes after, or maybe 3 or 4 minutes after level 0 build, it started building level 1 immediately, which that's not supposed to happen. The link to the mods for this playlist is broken. Really? Uh-oh. Let's see. Let me find my... I don't know how to edit that while I'm in the middle of the stream. Let me see if I can figure that out while this is doing this little city plan thing. City content. Live. Alright, edit. Stream details and mod list. Where does this go? It's taking me to the forums, which is correct. Yes, I know. Google Calendar. Tonight's live stream day. Thank you. All right, now I gotta use my login thing here. Just a moment. So I can figure out which one it is. Yeah, I tell you what. Using the number of passwords and like Authy registrations and stuff I've got to have is absurd. So the link works, but it might require you for the load order. It's really tiny. You know, I'll just copy paste the load, or I'll just copy paste the load order. It's like 6 mods. Like I'm using hardly anything. I think I got to update it to add Rise of the Commonwealth. But you do have to log in. You probably have to log into forums to see it. So here is the list. Well, it's just a cluster, but there it is. That's all I'm using. Okay, so now let's make sure we get someone assigned to our... Wait, which one is the mayor? You look like... I think you're the mayor, so not you. You can come over here and work this. I think there's a municipal plot with Caravan services right here. Get you in there. Oh, hello.
Are you looking for a new career in science?
I'm not. Thank you, though. Appreciate the offer. I also want to get some more... I'm going to switch some of these plots over to organic materials. I think a couple episodes ago I went through and like started destroying organic material plots. Like, oh, we don't need any of that. And then it turns out like, oh, HQ needs a ton of it. Oops. Oh, no, we don't need commercial yet. We need customize plot, change plot type. We'll go to industrial. Okay, here we go. Z Games, do you have a favorite plot? My favorite plot is and always will be, if you mean building plan, it always will be Wasteland Launcher, because it's the first one I designed, and I designed 23 versions of it or something like that, because I did the VIP houses. So like that's just like special place in my heart, because it's what started it all. Like I played Fallout 4 in VR and went in that house, and literally like uncontrollable emotion, like the little tear welled up from seeing that from VR standpoint. It was so magical. Let's see. Oh, Patriot of the West, thank you for the donation. SS2 Chapter 3 for alternative endings for the game. So Chapter 3 will presumably be our last one. I don't like. The only way I think I've joked about a bunch of different ways for it to happen. The actual probably only way is for it to get like funded enough where like our whole team could get a paycheck, and there's no one's going to pay for that because that would require a ton of money. So Chapter 3 should be the end. As far as alternative endings for the game, kind of in a way. So what we've decided to do is wrap all of Fallout 4 inside of the Sim Settlement story. So basically, we're making like the Fallout 4 quest like a side quest within our quest, if that makes sense. So that all of our stuff will like acknowledge what you've done and push you to do it, but we're not gonna like give you, because the problem is like for some people, you know, an ending is destroying the Institute. Some people is destroying the Brotherhood. So what does that even mean to have an alternate ending to Fallout 4? So to us, the alternate ending to Fallout 4 means something bigger than just destroying some of the factions. Kenneth, if the only options coming up is full power, it just means that it's not Fallout 4 isn't detecting F4SE for you. So either you have F4SE installed incorrectly, or you're not running it, or something along those lines. Something's going on that's not detecting it. If you think you have it. Oh, you have no clue what F4SE is. Okay, I just read ahead. So yeah, F4SE is the script extender. It lets mods do way cooler stuff. Let's see. Well, one thing about building settlements that's nice is I can pay a little more attention to chat while I'm doing this, because this is not taking much effort. All right, so far it hasn't triggered the level 2 update, so I think that's good. So my next concern is that I introduce yet another bug that's going to make it so it can't upgrade at all. Totally a possibility. But I'm happy that it's at least not force upgrading right now. And our Caravan services look correct. Our links are all good. Turned out that, so the way, for some technical stuff, behind the scenes stuff on how this worked, is Sim Settlements has its own like network code. Like there's like 4 different, there's actually more than, there's a lot of different like networks that can run in the background. And networks just mean like settlements that have a connection together of some sort. And the vanilla game has a connection as well. It's like the Caravan network. And the Sim Settlements one, it wraps around that, and it was basically checking if the Sim Settlements was in place. It was assuming that the vanilla one was in place, and the vanilla one is what makes these little lines on your map, and that was a bad assumption. It couldn't assume that those were there, so we updated the code to make sure the vanilla ones get created, and now the lines appear, and then you get the shared resources when you pop in here. So after next patch, you guys should have a lot better time with Caravan networks, which is awesome, because that's it's become kind of a mandatory plot. It's kind of like, it's crazy to not build it. All right, let's jack up our build limit here. There we go. Okay, so there, that makes me happy. I wanted to make sure this code was working. I'm pretty happy with the plot code. Let's test the city plan though. Let's go save one more time. I'm gonna use a little console command here. I gotta grab my code. It is, where's it at? Search for this. Little behind the scenes stuff. All right, we're gonna jump to here. So this is just the code I'm about to run, is the code that runs every day. And I could just have slept to do this, but all right, city plan manager. This code doesn't cheat or anything. It's just literally like forces the update that checks to see if city plans are eligible. So if it triggers an update immediately in here, then I still have a bug I need to fix, and then I'm probably going to roll back the save and then not build the city plan yet. So let's see. Give it a second here. All right, let's catch up with some chat. We're waiting for this thing to go. Let's see. Shadows are, how everyone, how's it going? King Gath, how are things going? Things are going good. Pretty good day today. I've been, for those of you guys who've been following SS for a while, I have been touring schools for my kid. Like, that's how long we've been doing this, because my kid was born the first year, I think the real year I released Sim Settlements, or it was either, or the year after, I can't remember now. But anyway, I've been talking about my kid since as long as I've been making these videos, and he's about to go to kindergarten. It's crazy, time flying. John Giddings, quick question: where would you want someone to list a Twitch stream for us as to? Best place is probably going to be the forums. If you tweet it at me, I will retweet it for you. Anybody, that goes to anybody. If you guys want some eyeballs on your streams or whatever, if you guys tag at Sim Settlements on there, I will definitely like it on Twitter, and sometimes I'll if I poke my head in and watch it and I like what I'm seeing, I'll retweet it and try and get you guys some more viewers. But I definitely watch them, and I usually share them with the team, because everybody on the team loves to see people playing it. Oh man, I just realized how bogus our interior plot placement is with some of these designs. This is no good. ROTC could definitely use some love on placement of items. That's right. Once it all builds up, we won't even notice anymore. That could also be the case too. Is it could be that at the higher levels these walls might get thicker. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're leveling up, so I'm feeling pretty good about this. All right, so let's continue with the save. So I think the first thing we're going to do, so I said I want to get some more settlers, because I want to have higher quality people to send to HQ. So I think that means we need to go, we're going to go do the quests the Ron sent us on, which are some fantastic quests. They're really well written and fun to do, and that'll give us a chance to find some bugs. Yeah, gunner scalps, no, don't need those. Speak to Anton. Okay, great, they're already highlighted. So let's go. Oh yeah, and we can do West Everett too. We could do West Everett, but that's not the goal right now. All right, so we're gonna hop over to Wicked Shipping, and then we'll bounce over and talk to the Powell family. So go into some Chapter 1 side content. That'll give us a bunch of good settlers, and then it will unlock the recruitment thing for the run so that I can start forcing everybody else to show up too, and then we're just going to get chock full of great settlers. Oscar Fry, the thread still says it's not found. That's so weird. I'm looking at it right now. Here, I'll post the link again. I don't know what is going on with that, because I checked to make sure it wasn't like a weird link, but here's the link that should have like details on the stream and my list. Does that list, when you guys click on that, does that go to, you might have to copy paste it. I don't know what YouTube just butchered that link. What is going on? Maybe that's the problem, because like they released half of the, let me click on that in here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, I see. So YouTube is like breaking the link. That's so weird. If you like, yeah, I don't know how to deal with that. Why would YouTube do, YouTube, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let me view my stream details here. Streamception. No, stop. I'm gonna start getting feedback here. All right, yeah, so like YouTube is like breaking my link. Why would it do that? So I guess I need to make this what's that, like what is that called? The smaller links, what do they call that? Is it small URLs? I can't remember the name of the site. Tiny URL. That's what I was looking for. All right, let's make a tiny URL. Make tiny URL. Okay, we're gonna go with copy. Go to that. Okay, let's try this. All right, let's save this guy. All right, guys, try this link. Does this work? Does that link go to the correct thing? Because if so, I need to go back and like update all my streams, because they're probably all screwballed, and that will have to be for another day. But I'll wait until you guys confirm that that works. Obviously not gonna do it right this second, but let me know if any of you guys can get to that. I'm gonna go find the Powells. Oh, we're gonna have to fight some zomboids here. That one works? Okay, cool. All right, I will have to update. I had no idea that they were butchering that URL. I've been using it for 20 weeks. I bet some of you guys have told me that, and I just missed it in the chat. So thanks for calling that one out. Awesome. Well, the tiny link works. Well, I had no idea YouTube was just destroying my links. I always thought it would do that to, like, you guys. I know that they don't let non-mods post links, but I assumed that whatever I posted, it would let happen. I guess not. I think I'm gonna have to pause for just a second. There's oh god, for someone to kill this guy. Boom! I need to go turn my air conditioning on. I think I turned it off earlier this afternoon, but it's like wicked hot in here. Probably not helping that I'm drinking a cup of coffee either. All right, let's dog meat. You're in charge of killing all those. Alright, let's have bets if the mole rats kill me before I get back from fixing my air conditioning. Be right back. Hey, I'm alive. All right. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, that link should send you to the forums, so that's good. It was the link that was going there was going to the forums, but it would say like, "Oops, that thread couldn't be found." In we go.
Hold it right there, stranger. Excuse the pointed gun routine, but I'm not expecting a caravan today.
Oh,
So,
I just realized I made a mistake.
Why don't you tell me what you're doing here?
My audio can probably... Hold on, let me see if I can fix this. I might have to like crash the game out for a second. I forgot to pump the audio through my headphones, so it's probably getting picked up by my mic. So let's try this. Let's do save LP day 21 start. Exit out here. Just change my sound around. All right, launch that again. Back in we go. Hopefully OBS doesn't mind the change. Okay, it's still picking up desktop audio. Cool. There we go. Oh, Brandon, when did you do a super chat? I saw... Oh, no, I didn't miss. I did miss it. My apologies. I saw Patriot, and I think it's the same color, so I missed it. Brandon Johnson, thank you for the donation. I only played SS1. Is the Sun Laser in SS2? It is not. So the Sun Laser is something we will probably port one day, but because it's such a powerful thing, and it would be too awkward for Jake and company not to just say like, hey, let's use Helios 1 to take out the gunners. We opted to just not have it in because it kind of like, we don't want to have anything built into the mod that makes our story stupid, basically. So like, we don't want to have like an obvious solution to the problem built right into the mod. But there is some new stuff coming in the 3.0 patch and with the chapter 3 story where it would have a place again. So, but we have to introduce it at the right time where it's, if it naturally unlocks, then it can't be a solution to the main story anymore, if that makes sense.
I'm here to help you.
Oh, help! I see. Is this the part where you helpfully donate some bullets? Maybe relieve me of the burden of wealth, as if I didn't have enough... Wait.
Oops, I accidentally pushed a button.
How did you know?
Couldn't be anyone else. I didn't even tell the caravans about our problems. Those hawks would be on me in a heartbeat. That leaves only the Ron. I have to admit I'm a bit embarrassed about the gun now. I'll just put that away now. Whoop. Let's get inside before it gets more awkward. My wife's better at making.
Totally not Deegan. Yeah, you saw my how to smoke a brisket. Yeah, I'm buying a smoker this weekend for Memorial Day, and I want to make a gigantic brisket. It's gonna be amazing. Dog power armor. No, that is not in our plan. There are little armor items available if you have SS2 Extended. You can buy from the pet shop and equip your little tiny dog with them. I should go get a pet store and just have a little dog follow me around.
She told Man-to-Man exactly what he needed to do.
Super secret submarines, a cruise ship, and the mistress of mysteries. Now I know why you like this one so much.
And there are the two lovely ladies of our humble manor. Jules, Katie, I have good news for a change. Looks like we have a place to relocate after all.
Oh, thank God. I mean, welcome to our home. Make yourself comfortable. Can I offer you something to drink? Not sure if you'll like what's on offer, though. I've got fermented brain fungus beer, or glowing mushroom tea with an extra kick to it. Though, I guess it's kind of an acquired taste. Are you even thirsty? I probably should have checked first.
Why don't you just tell me about yourself?
I'll take that as a no.
Patriot Less, thank you for the donation. BOS, Make Institute, R&D, RR, Spies, MM Cops, Idea, and I have no idea what that means. Tag me in another message with a little clarification, and maybe I can respond to that. I have no idea what I just read.
Fertilizer will only get you so far.
I'm finding this kind of hard to believe.
Well, I didn't say it was easy to figure out the exact diet to make a Brahmin produce fertilizer more useful than it's a... gas. Though sometimes, I swear, if Alex would just get his head out from his ass and let me use the ladder, the jet would sell for more than our entire crop. I mean, what's the big deal? Does he think if Katie never hears the word chem, she'll grow to love farming as much as he does? Sorry.
Wow, I've never heard this little branch. I don't think I ever tested with Charisma build.
Makes me feel like I can tell you anything. Are you sure you don't want a beer?
I'm good for now, thanks.
Probably for the best. It's still experimental. Brain fungus is either chewy like rubber or hard as a brick. The sweet spot between those is tricky. I suppose I should keep the glowing mushrooms for Radaway. If we're moving out this soon, we'll need it for the trip.
All right, that concludes the introductions, the tour, and the formal welcome dinner. Short and sweet. Not much to look at, I know, but she's been home to us for a long time. I guess now that you're here, we'll be moving on soon. We started preparing weeks ago when we realized that the last crop wasn't gonna get us through the next season. Still a couple things left to pack, though. If you're feeling impatient, ask
How's
Jules.
the
She'll know what
NPC
stories
volume? Are you guys still good with it, or do I need to turn it up a
You
little?
need anything from me?
Tell me about yourself.
Was not expecting an interview, but I guess you can't just let anyone in, huh? Hope you don't keep people out on the account of being boring. My parents were farmers, and I was one of, well, let's say 7 children on the best day. When I ran off with the caravan, it...
Turn it up a little. Can do. Yeah, it sounds a little quiet to me. I think that's why it was so loud before, because it was coming off of my speakers into my mic, and it was getting transmitted by OBS, so now we lost that
was
reverb.
one of 3. When I came home to share the good news about marrying Jules, well, hard work sometimes just means being a bigger target for raiders. Long story short, we needed a new safe place to settle. Julia turned our Brahmin's fertilizer to gold and gave us a shot at building something here. I work as hard as my folks did, but I won't make their mistakes. I know when to call quits and move on, and that's why I took the risk of asking for help. You need anything else from me?
You ready to head out?
Mentally, no, but sentiment doesn't make the crop come in any better. Trust me, I've tried that and about a million other things. If you're itching for something to do to speed things up, ask Jules. She can get particular about the order things get packed in.
Lady Raincloud says, "Hey, King Gaff, longtime user and lover of SS. Can I ask if there's any competition between SS and Gun for Hire?" There is not any longer. There was with Chapter 2 when we launched, because most people didn't know about our system to hide our door. But now there's a, right next to the door to where the Gun for Hire office is, there's a little intercom, and if you click that, you can hide our version so you can get to the Gun for Hire door. There's also available a Gun for Hire patch for SS2 that will just move our door to another building. And that can solve that as well. So yeah, you're totally good playing with Gun for Hire. All right, let's go talk to Jules here.
Hey.
We're all eager to get going. We've got most of our things packed up besides what had to wait until the last minute. But the biggest problem right now is that our Brahmin, Nessie, got out of her pen last night and wandered off. Any chance you could lend a hand and go search for her while we wrap up here? We should be ready to go once you're back.
All right. I'll do it.
Great. Brahmin are creatures of habit. She probably wandered to her favorite pastures by Sunshine Tidings. You could check there first. Maybe look around for a bit. I doubt she went far. And watch out for blood bugs. Season's coming in early with the rains. I sprayed Nessie with repellent 2 days ago, but it wears off eventually. It's why I'm so worried about her.
Okay, let's go find Nessie. Jason Lokrantz, thank you for the donation. I think you're one of the regulars on the donation front. Thank you so much. The amount of Notepad++ tabs you have open terrify me. Thanks to you and the team for such an amazing reason to replay Fallout 4. I love my Notepad++ tabs. I feel like every time I use I try to switch to an IDE, I get really irritated and immediately just open Notepad++ up again. And so it's a mess, but I love it. It's my organized chaos. Like, I'm the type of guy who's got a lot of random papers on my desk, and I could tell you exactly what each one's for. I know my mess. Patriot of the West, you got a clarification. So Brotherhood, the military, Institute into Research Development, Railroad and Spy Network Management into local law enforcement. Okay, so like recruit them all and give them duties. Yeah, that could be a way to go. But I think we didn't. Oh, there we go.
Nessie isn't at Sunshine Tidings.
Make sure this doesn't break. This is a common bug report as this little section gets all screwy. But yeah, the one, we're trying not to break the vanilla quest, so we want players to be able to still do the vanilla quest line. So like we don't edit any of those. If you guys have ever played, there's a pretty cool mod out there called Project Valkyrie that lets you do the ending in a bunch of different ways, but it unfortunately requires them to have edited a lot of vanilla quests. And And we want to avoid that. So like we limit ourselves to doing stuff to the main game where we can hack and override. Like the very first quest with Preston, we found a way to do an override that doesn't break that quest. So you can do it the vanilla way, or you can use our little hook around it. And like that's the only time we're doing anything with the vanilla quests as far as giving you ways to bypass them.
Do you know where she's gone?
Yeah, and it won't be in the pasture. Franklin the Martian took her. He's an alien, so he likes studying Earth things, like giddy-up buttercup toys, comic books, and Brahmin. I'm sure he didn't hurt her, so you'll just have to go and ask him to give her back, and he will.
Who is this guy?
Franklin. He's from Mars. Has a spacesuit and a ray gun, but the gun is just for bad people. Raiders don't like aliens any more than Earthlings, so he needs the gun, but he doesn't use it on friends, I swear. And definitely not on Brahmin. If he knew we need Nessie today, he wouldn't have took her.
Sure, okay.
I know how it sounds, really. I wouldn't tell you if I didn't have to. You know, to keep him safe. But I don't want to leave without Nessie. Will you go? I wrote you a note to give to him, so he'll know you're a friend and that I sent you.
Okay, what's really going on here?
Well, maybe Franklin didn't really take her himself. I just wanted to help him. Mom always talks about how special Nessie is, so I thought, if aliens want to study Brahmin, then they should study the best one around. Maybe even clone her. How cool would that be?
No problem. I'll bring her back.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you'd believe me. I'd go and get her myself, but you heard my dad. Take this note and he'll know I sent you. Franklin lives under the old ranger shack. Nessie is super safe with him, but Mom and Dad really want to leave soon, so we need her back. It's not far. I can show you where on your map, and you don't have to be scared of him. He's a very nice alien. And remember, no need to hurt him. He's nice.
Okay, let's go find Franklin the Martian. All right, I'm also curious if we're gonna get so sometimes people get a bug where like when you fast travel away from here, then she's still with you. Let's see if that happens to me, even though I don't really have to go that far. Yeah, we'll go to Wicked Fleet. Meant to Rob. My problem with this quest is the Ghoul's Bunker. I find the note hard to see as it blends with the background too well. Yeah, I can see that for sure. One of the things that we switched to doing, and I should probably go back and do it to this quest, is instead of making you do investigation stuff, if you just get close to the thing, we put a map marker on it, because I know that helps with people who either with stuff like that, or it just happens to blend in, or people have poor eyesight. Like, it's a nice accessibility thing. But yeah, I don't see, she didn't follow me, so that's good. So that bug must be either a weird fluke, or it's a mod conflict. So this is something that is really weird in here that I haven't been able to figure out why the creation kit does this. But you see these like green spots on the ground? These are trails that are supposed to like give you some visual storytelling of what's going on here. But for some reason, after you leave this cell, they disappear. No idea why. No idea why. But yeah, the whole idea was he's using the glowing fungus to make the like a green paint. That's how he's making his Martian items. This was kind of like the little story here. But yeah, I can see that note. It's kind of hard to see, so it would be nice if like as you looked at it, it got like a little quest marker on it. Alright, so let's go up and then let's see if that bug is still happening. It happened like every single time I tested it, and I eventually gave up. I was like, fortunately it's just a little extra. It wasn't part of the quest necessarily. It didn't matter if the little blood splatter or the little green splatters went away, but let's see here. Did they disappear? Yeah, see, they disappear. I don't understand why. Can't figure it out. Oh well. It's a Todd moment. Cluster WI, my desk is the same. I had a housekeeper who came in when I was just out of the hospital, and she cleaned my desk, and I asked her not to do that because it's a method to my mess. Yep, method to the mess. Agreed. Alright, let's see if we get some more ghouls coming at us. I know I cleared this place at one point in my playthrough. Anybody else in here? Oh, I hear a radio. Where is that coming from? No. That radio's off. What? I hear a radio. Where is that coming from? In my headphones, it sounds like it's coming from over here. I wonder if I have my headphones on backwards. That could totally be the case. Because it makes more sense for it to be over there. I bet I have my headphones on backwards. Let's go check. Yep, I got my headphones on backwards. There we go. Directional audio helps. Alright, let's pop this thing open. Hello, Nessie.
Interloper. In your ignorance, you have invaded the sovereign territory of Mars. I am bound by honor to give you one warning before I take you to the Galactic Court by force. If you resist, I will be forced to use lethal force.
Forced to use lethal force. The AI is a little up in my grill. So I think sometimes Nessie like wanders forward just a little bit, and then so Franklin has no room to park. Like, I got the drop on you, buddy. My laser rifle's in your shoulder.
Who are you supposed to be?
I see your underdeveloped cranium is having trouble beholding the sight in front of it. I am proud citizen and soldier of Mars, and my name, translated to your primitive language, is Franklin.
Easy. I just want to talk.
Ah, invoking the interstellar right of ambassadorship. Very well. You may make your case for your presence. Be warned. Transgressing against the sacred ceasefire will trigger the electro-neuromagnetic traps that will boil the brain of any human in the room.
I love the Rob option. Normally I would do it because I just love my skill checks, but we got to recruit this guy.
I have something for you.
What's this? You have an offering for me? Usually humans bring me items for study, not scribblings. Wait. Katie? She's leaving? But I mean, I see the chief ambassador has... forget it. No point in keeping up the act now, I guess. It works better on children and Kent-out raiders anyway. So, Katie couldn't come out here herself. And that's why she sent you, for Nessie.
Hold on. I have some questions first.
After that performance, I figured you would. Go ahead and ask then.
Who are you?
I'm Franklin, and I'm actually from a marsh, not Mars. But Katie misheard me. I mostly made a living selling salvage, but I didn't have much luck with that. People saw my face or heard my voice, and I'd be lucky not to get chased out with bullets. Always been like that. Then the little lady saw me one day, and instead of screaming ghoul, she called me an alien, and asked me if I was looking for things to study. I figured being an alien couldn't be worse than being a ghoul. Turns out it's better, safer, and even profitable. First, Katie started bringing me food and junk to trade. Then a caravaneer stoned out on chems bought into it, and now I practically have a brand going.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
Katie brought her here to play alien experiments. On her own, I swear. Didn't know she'd bring me a whole cow after I told her to stop looking for scrap. She lost track of time and had to run home. So she said she'd be back for Nessie soon. Then, I guess you showed up and she got locked down.
What's with the outfit?
It's just some old gear. Katie was the one who called it a spacesuit. I modified the gun to fit the image afterwards. Katie's got a big imagination, but at least she treats me like a person, even if she thinks I'm from another planet. She even wanted to draw a comic book of me someday. The super awesome galactic adventures of Franklin the Martian and Katie the human.
Oh man, we should make those. We should put those in the magazine store for sure. Ruined, if you're watching. Or cynical.
That's all I needed to know.
Hope that clears things up. So, was I right about you getting sent here for Nessie?
That's right.
The smelly thing is all yours. Good thing you came. I don't know how much longer I could stand around smelling her fertilizer. And, sorry for the act earlier. I've gotten kinda used to it, but I guess it won't be the same without Katie around. Doesn't like me very much after some of the experiments Katie thought would be fun to play at, but she should follow you back to the farm without a fuss. I'll miss Katie. Take care of her and her family, will ya?
What are you gonna do now?
Probably move on, find somewhere I can find more salvage, and keep selling alien artifacts to whoever's chemmed out enough to buy them. It'll be lonelier, but maybe I can visit Katie sometime, once she's settled. But I'm sure she'll forget all about me soon enough.
Do you want to set up a permanent shop? I know the perfect place.
For real? I didn't expect you to say that. But a permanent place sounds amazing. Yeah, I can see it now. Franklin's Fine Martian Wares. Or Franklin's Emporium of Galactic... No, too long. You've got yourself a deal, human.
Alright, got ourselves some Franklin. Alright, let's head back to the Powell's and then we'll actually get them proper. Deddy288, greetings from Germany. Hello. Man, you must burn it. You got up super early. You're burning the midnight oil. It's, hey, there it is. I was waiting for that. Yeah, man, it's going to be real ass early in Germany right now. Franklin's Martian Memorabilia. Where are you, dog meat? I'll figure it out. Okay, I did have a map marker. It was weird. I've got that. Why this one? Why those are showing on the corner on map? Eric Thurston, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the mod. I've had so much fun. I'm glad. I hope hope you're running into minimal bugs, having a good minimal settlement crashes, and having a good time. Hey, what's all this? What's this mess? Oh, Pikmin's calling card. I've never run into this. That's kind of cool. I don't know why I'm looting Pikmin's card, but... Oh, hey, dog meat. Did you find Pikmin? What are you doing, bud? I don't know what he's up to. It's funny, I use this thing more than any other weapon, and I have zero. I don't think I've entered any points into this. No, I don't have any levels. I have been using all my points. Is it two-hand, or how does that work now? Does Rifleman work with laser rifles? Or is energy weapons its own category? I can't remember. Am I thinking of older Fallout games? Maybe it does work with them? Here we go. Oh, it was older games that it was energy weapons were separate. Okay, cool. So I am getting a benefit. That's good.
Franklin!
Hi, Katie. Hello. Katie's parents.
You're Franklin? From Mars? I guess I can see it with the suit and the eyes and the gun.
Yeah, it's not really true. I'm a ghoul and not an alien, as you can see. I'm sorry for lying, Katie.
It's all right. I already knew that. I'm not dumb, you know. I've seen nice schools before, but it was so much fun to play, wasn't it?
I think she has like
You're smart,
insane intelligence stat.
I guess I needed to believe I was Franklin from Mars more than you did.
This is all very nice, but what about our Nessie?
She's back in her pen, safe and sound. And I'm sorry for taking her in the first place. I was going to...
Franklin, don't say that. Mom, Dad, I was the one that took Nessie out of her pen. I tried to go and get her back, but you wouldn't let me go.
And you should have told us that right away. What were you thinking? I was worried sick about her. Mr. Franklin, thank you for keeping Nessie safe and bringing her back. Well, I'm not sure how I feel about you playing aliens with my daughter.
She is a very special cow. In fact, if you figure out how to make her milk glow, maybe we could team up. Things that glow sell faster.
Glowing Brahmin milk? Improbable, but I doubt anyone's tried before. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad she was abducted by an alien instead of wandering off by herself. And Franklin is... interesting. I always knew Katie was too smart to get that carried away with make-believe, but I wasn't expecting this. He's definitely onto something with his branding, though. I've seen Caravans cash out for less. I'll definitely talk more with him on the road. Speaking of, we're all packed up and ready. Are you all set?
Yes, so let's go.
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
So where are we heading?
Where should I send them? I guess I'll send them. It doesn't really matter where I send them because I'm immediately going to go recruit them and send them off to... I guess I'll send them to Sunshine because it's right around the corner. And then I can go grab them and send them to HQ. Let's go speak.
Hey, stranger.
I can't believe you convinced him to come with us. You're amazing, you know that? This'll be so much fun. Once I'm not grounded anymore anyway. True superheroes never ask for a reward, but they always deserve it. I went and grabbed all this stuff from my secret hiding spot for you. Here.
All right. I want to see what her stats are like. So I know there's we have an issue with a bunch of our characters I just haven't gotten around to fixing. Is Bethesda has this thing in the CK called classes where they can predefine a bunch of stats and then assign them to a character. Well, they basically never use it. They just like leave a bunch of people on random classes, and we made the same mistake. So some of our NPCs are just stuck with whatever class they happen to have when they were defaulted, and so their stats are like way different than what we have on our spreadsheets.
Hey, sweetie.
Franklin from Mars.
I wouldn't be
or
shocked if
Martian.
Katie's one of them.
Amazing Super Awesome Adventures is probably too long for one cover. This is hard.
Let's see here. What do we got? Intelligence gifted. Yeah, I don't know if that's like her supposed to be or her stat. I have to go look at our spreadsheets, or if it's because I know the other kids in the game have really high int too. So I think it might be that she probably has the child template, and then the children everywhere are loaded up. What else do we got? What do you guys got? So intelligence. So she's gonna go to our eventual science department. What about you, Franklin? What do you got for us? Heyo. Charisma and int, so you can go admin or science or strength for a little bit. How about you, Julia? Looks like a lot of scientists in the building. And then what about you, Alex? What are you going to be doing? You've got endurance. All right, we could use more logistics staff. All right, awesome. Let's head over to... Actually, let's run over to Sunshine and see if they... Actually, you know what? I'll go do the Powell, and then I'll jump back and grab everybody. Because we should have time to do Gray Matters as well. What's going on here? There it is. Does Rifleman work with the Vitamatic? All right, let's go. Oops. Over to. Do I have? Please tell me that. Yeah, I have good neighbor. Okay. Oh, you guys are just
Hey
chilling
there.
here?
Yes?
Yes?
You got nothing for me? Oh yeah, I think didn't I send them off here? I think we went over this before last time I was here.
Don't worry. I only test the weapons on customers I don't like.
I'm gonna finally remember to buy some shotgun shells. It's been
I'll take
God
a
knows
look,
how many
sure.
episodes.
Let's get you outfitted, killer.
All right, give us the ammo. What do you got for me? We can. I mean, we just never have enough. We can never have enough fusion cells. Sure. Shotgun shells, yes. And what am I? What garbage am I gonna give you? You can have all my rounds I don't need. Oh, I got. I guess I'm not using 10mm. You can have that too. Yeah, 5.56 we're not gonna use. 5mm. Ta-da! Ammo's the real currency in the Commonwealth. Alright, let's go down. So, King Gath, would you happen to know if it's okay to play Chapter 2 up until HQ and then install the upcoming patch? Yeah, should be fine. I mean, we're going to test it with existing saves. Like, I'm going to test it with this save. In fact, I have been testing it with this save all along as I go. So, yeah, the big upcoming HQ patch will work with existing saves. Well, actually, it works 99% of the time with existing saves. Once in a while, somebody will get a save where when they update it, it starts crashing. But usually when that happens, you just roll back, play for, half an hour, save again, and then the next time you install, it'll be fine.
What? Another one of you mercs looking
Hi.
for McCready?
Well, that's right, I could get McCready while I'm down here if I
Get out
want.
of my face.
Yeah, I guess I could grab McCready too, because I could send him to HQ as well.
What's your problem?
My problem? Okay, stop me if you've heard this one. A guy walks into a bar and asks me what my problem is. Then Ham and Whitechapel toss him out, and everyone drinks happily ever after. Look, just tell me what you want. Are you lost or something? Lonely? Selling something?
Who do you think sent me?
But who? Wait a minute. Ron? No way.
Is it so hard to believe?
Well, yeah. You met the guy, right? How about that? I figured he'd just taken my money and ran. Or waddled. Slithered, Look, I'm sorry for being a jerk before.
Little did Anton know that everybody loves the
Ron.
Ron.
News to come walking through the door. Any door, really, but even less so in a place like this. Here's what I need. I have a sister, Audra. She's a good girl, but gullible, She's fallen in with a raider gang, common rad trash led by a guy named Knox. They've been filling her head with chems and God knows what other kind of ideas. And I won't allow my sister to be a junkie. I can't. She's better than that. This family is better than that. And she's all the family I got left. I've tracked them to the Harbor Master Hotel. Ever seen it? It's a trash heap. Suitable enough for scum like Knox. But not for Audra. Come with me. Help me get my sister back. Please.
I have some questions first.
Ask him then.
I really like this, the Magnolia thing in this bar. It's really cool to have somebody in the post-apocalypse doing some songs and stuff. It's just a nice atmosphere.
So where do I come in?
Look, I'm better at building doors than kicking them down, all right? I'm not a fighter. People like them survive the waste by taking what honest men earn, and then needling their veins until the insanity of it all starts to fade. People like them aren't worth saving. But Audra is. I just can't do that on my own.
Who are these guys? Raiders?
Degenerate scum. Not one of them would know an honest day's work or an honest man's worth. And this Knox, he's poisoning Audra's mind. If these These animals want to wallow in shit and waste their lives, that's one thing. But my sister knows better than to lie down with filth. Once we get her mind clear, she'll remember that. I'll make sure of it.
Do you need to come with me now?
Yes. When Audra gets like this, she needs me to remind her of what's important. To me, to her, and to this family. I won't cramp your style or get in your way, but I will be there when we go to do this. I have to be.
What did she do?
Audra's a smart kid, but only when her head is clear. And I'll be honest, in the past she's needed frequent, reminders of why that's so important. She ran away from me about 2 weeks ago. And this time is gonna be the last time. That much I know for sure.
I don't have any more questions.
Let's
Sounds
go.
good. Let's go.
All right, I'll follow your lead. And look, I really appreciate what you're doing for me, but don't underestimate these guys. And Audra, well, let's just keep her safe. She never could manage that on her own.
Sean, can you make any settlement your HQ, or is there a set location not got that far yet? And it looks like Yagi's got you covered on the answer. But I will say, this last Friday, I did an overview with a bunch of existing add-on pack authors and showed them some of the new stuff coming to the 2.0 patch. And I mentioned to them, and I've mentioned it on the stream before in other places, but the code for HQ does allow people to create their own. So in theory, there can be multiple HQs. So others will be able to, who are very ambitious, will be able to create their own little HQs that so you can actually technically have multiple.
Yeah, I heard.
Let's go ahead and grab
still taking jobs
Creedy
in the
here.
Commonwealth. That isn't going to work for us.
I don't take orders from you. Not anymore. So why don't you take your girlfriend and walk out of here while you still can?
Hey there.
What? Winlock, tell me we don't have to listen to this shit.
Listen up, McCready. The only reason we haven't filled your body full of bullets is that we don't want a war with Good Neighbor. See, we respect other people's
These guys must have not
boundaries.
heard that their army's gone.
Game. It's something you never learned.
Glad to have disappointed you.
You can play the tough guy all you want. But if we hear you're still operating inside Gunner territory, all bets are off. You got that?
You finished?
Yeah. We're finished. Come on, Barnes.
Hey there.
Get out of my face.
I should just execute them both.
Look, pal. If you're preaching about the atom or looking for a friend, you've got the wrong guy. If you need a hired gun, then maybe we can talk.
Maybe. Why don't you tell me who those guys were first?
A couple of morons looking to climb the ladder of success by stepping on everyone else on the way up. Shouldn't be surprised, though.
I guess I don't need to sit here and listen to this. I'm sure all of you have heard this many times. So
Sounds
let's
like
go
you can
ahead
handle
and
You're worried about Winlock? Now what about you?
we'll go ahead and pass
All
this
I
up.
can give you is my word.
Punch of caps, huh? Price is $250.
Everything's negotiable.
You drive a hard bargain. You... All right, boss.
Send dog to. I don't want to send dog to. All right, we'll send him to Sunshine because we're heading over there anyway. And
hey,
what do you want?
All right, so I need to send
Need
him.
something?
Let's see.
Hey there.
Talk.
What's up?
Dismiss.
We should go our separate ways.
I think you're making a huge... You change your mind.
Yeah, you're gonna be hanging out at Sunshine. Now let's see if can I get the.
There you are. Almost
No,
thought you
okay.
forgot
Yeah,
about
he's
me.
got to be in the settlement for me to get the dialogue. So
Actually, I'll be back later.
All right.
all right, where's dog meat? Let's see if I can still get him. Do I have time? Where'd he go? Dog meat. Did you already teleport? No. I don't want that quest. Not right now. Go away. All right, where's dog meat? There he is. Come here, buddy.
Hey, boy.
Let's
Come
go.
on, boy. It's time to go.
Okay. Yeah, Patriot. That's a common complaint with that series of mods, but to each their own. Some people love them, some people hate them. All right, let's see if I can get lost on my way over here. Use a stat gun on dog meat? Sure, I can do that. What crazy stats did Bethesda give him? Did I make it? Have anybody ever tried to send dog meat to HQ? Does it work? Like, did I forget to stop that from happening? Because I could totally see that. Because I forgot it for a little cola. Dog meat. Where did you go? How about you, Anton? You should have pretty good stats. Oh yeah, he's got good strength and endurance. What happened to dog meat? Oh well, she'll show up when she's ready. Or is it a he? I think it's a girl, right? Dog meat's a female dog. I guess they don't really put, or is it a he? I think I'm going she because of cola.
What's that?
I know they don't render genitals on dogs in the game, which is fine. That's probably for the best. Don't need to turn that into somebody's kink. Rule 34.
I'm hearing stuff.
Oh yeah, I think dog meat's boys. I'm pretty sure I've heard the player say "good boy." And I think that was actually one of the things where we were like, oh, why didn't we make cola a boy? It would have made it a lot easier to reuse lines with dog meat.
Clothes all still in one piece. Phew.
Shit's got ambushed all over it.
Oh, IRL dog meat was a female. Didn't IRL dog meat pass away? Didn't I read that on a tweet somewhere? I'm so sad. Poor doggo. Indeed, the trash is dealt with. Oh man, what did I just pick up that's killing my... What am I holding? I guess we don't... Oh, I don't need to keep picking up stupid things like hub flowers. So I recently started playing a game of Skyrim for... I don't know. It was just... I think it's because I just came off of playing Elden Ring a bunch, and I was just like in a fantasy mood, and so I think I've just been I was in flower picking mode there when I saw those hub flowers. Alright, is it over here we get to Harbor Master Hotel? Still no sign of dog meat. I wonder if I was a little too slow on it and dog meat's ending up at... Oh! Back at Sunshine Tidings. That's fine. Oh, there it is. It's like I heard the dog. And who's shooting at me? There he is.
That's done. It's over. We win.
Indeed. Alright, I gotta make sure. I don't want Anton to get killed. I'm pretty sure Anton... I don't know if he should be set protected, but I can kill him back soon. He decides to run in front of my weapon here. Come here. Wait, isn't this supposed to be the entrance right here? No. I know it's around here somewhere. Ah, here it is. By the raiders.
Open fire! I need some goddamn fire support!
Oh, bad collision. Come on, Bethesda. Uh-oh. Alright, I guess we just hurry up and get in here before Anton bites it. I really should just switch him over to Essential, at least until you get into this, until this quest is done.
See if we can figure out where they went.
There we go.
No idea how we're gonna find anything out of this.
I still have a itchy trigger finger for packs of cigarettes from the Conqueror playthrough. Yeah, I get so close to looting those every time. All right, up we go. Not crazy. No, there is no way to recruit everyone. You do have to choose. There's one thing you have a choice over. Well, you always know the big thing you have a choice over. There's a second thing. I think it's over here. Yeah, if you grab one of these, a Dick Doll or Psycho, you can plant them in her stash. And a Dick Doll, it changes her personality in some way. It, like, I don't remember exactly what it does, but it actually changes some of the dialogue lines that she has later. And then Psycho kills her. So I'm not gonna do either of those. I'm gonna leave her as is.
Don't think I can pick this.
Here's what I want. But yeah, if you grab one of those two off the ground, or if you have one in your inventory, when you come to the stash and hit examine, you can spike it with one of them. I'm going to leave it alone. And once she comes in to take it later, then that'll, yeah, it has an impact. But I think that's it. Is it that one? It's one of these. You got to access one of these. There it is. And for some reason, this is so weird. So this is something like Bethesda does all the time. They'll have a quest trigger off of a thing, and for us, it makes this happen, where it freezes, and then eventually it comes up. But on Bethesda quests, when they do that, it never seems to happen. I've never been able to figure out why that is. But a lot of the times when I've done terminals with quest triggers, it causes this weird like delay in the terminal entry displaying. It's really obnoxious.
Ground floor.
Wait a minute. Anton? What the hell are you doing here?
Putting what's left of my family back together. Back away from my sister. Do it now. Do it slowly. Or my friend and I will paint the wall with whatever brains you haven't already fried.
Jesus. You're gonna kill someone. Listen, please.
Fun fact, Knox's voice actor is the same one who did
she's
Mansfield's voice.
She's sick.
She's strung out. Just look at her. God knows how many chems he's got in her system.
There's nothing in her system right now. That's why we came back here. She forgot her medication.
Medication? Don't let this son of a bitch fool you. He's manipulated my sister, and now he's trying to do it to you, too.
No light. None.
Can I ask you some questions?
Some. You can ask me some questions. You can ask me a number of questions, but some is not a number until you made a specified sum. You can do that. You can look at me and you can see something, but you can't see that, can you? Haha.
Are you all right? You seem a little jumpy.
Laughing is the worst in the creation engine. The lip sync is so bad.
But I solved for distance. No remainders but the rate. I went too slowly? No, the numbers don't work now. There are new variables and they're standing here right now. There's too many of them. Unsolved again.
Are you happy here?
Happy here because I'm not there when I'm here and can't be here when I'm there. An object in two separate distances at one time, inexplicable, not possible. Time. Distance divided by rate. I didn't solve for time, but it happened and it keeps happening and it's mine. No subtraction. Mine. But I solved for distance. No remainders but the rate. I went too slowly? No, the numbers don't work now. There are new variables and they're standing here right now. There's too many of them. Unsolved again.
Oh, IDEC, that's interesting. So it's weird though, because I guess it must be that whatever functions we're running on, because all I think I have it set up to do is set a stage. There's like a default option to just set a stage without a script. But maybe if the stage that gets set has a a latent script call, then that's what's causing that. That would make sense. It's a bummer, but yeah, I could do that way. I could switch it over to a call function. No wait. Sorry guys, nerd talk.
Are you okay?
Okay. You know where I am. And you already know who and what, and I bet you think you know how. Because he sees when it happens, and I see what you talk about. You're always talking.
Oh no!
Always looking.
Bethesda AI at work.
And both of you are talking and looking.
Oh
and
god, the
add me,
camera.
and you
It's making me
subtract
queasy.
and you get no result.
That's all for now.
Can I ask some questions?
Yeah. Sure. Sorry. I'm just... It's hard to think with a gun pointed at my head.
If something's wrong, maybe I can help.
She's not wrong. But she is different. The jet doesn't work on her like it does you or me. For her, it slows down her thoughts to where she can understand them, make sense of them. Without it, well, she's like this. Up for days, writing on the walls, pacing the floors. She doesn't think to eat. And if we've got clean water handy, she doesn't think to bathe. I hate it, seeing her like that. But if it were up to her brother, what you're seeing right now, is how she would live the rest of her life. If you could even call it that.
If you expect me to believe you, I want proof.
If you trust your own eyes, I can give you all the proof you need. All she needs is a dose of her medicine, just a little. And it's like she's a whole different person. She keeps it in her room by the dresser. If you just let us...
Enough! I brought you here to help me get my sister back, not to stand around and watch her poison herself more than she already has.
I hate raiders. I kill them every chance I get.
Wait. What? Is that what he told you? Jesus. We're just wastelanders. We've only got one pipe gun between us. And only enough bullets to shoot mole rats for food.
Oh, the poll is to say who am I siding with? Nox or who am I letting live? Here, you guys choose.
Can I ask you some questions?
What else?
I can't imagine you guys are selecting Anton because he's made to be kind of a bully. I think if you read into all his dialogue and everything, like he's, I think his heart's in the right place. But yeah, I think most people in modern day would agree that he's pretty much is an a-hole and you shouldn't side with him. But I think you can understand where he's coming from when you hear all his dialogue. Oh, I get a medic perk. Oh, another perk I forgot to flag with the thing. We'll do
You
it.
haven't told me half of what I need to know.
I told you what you needed to know, when you needed to know it. Anything beyond that was none of your business, and still isn't.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Audra is different, not wrong. I'm counting on you to know the difference. Don't make me regret it.
If you expect me to believe you, I want proof.
I owe you exactly as much proof as I owe him. Need me to spell out how much that is?
Yeah, I think Anton's backstory, it is definitely, he's like the controlling brother. I think he lost his parents to drugs, so he thinks he's trying to keep his sister from dying. So again, I think you can see, I really like the design of this quest. I think it was really well written because there's like, I think Anton was made to be the easy choice, but I think he also wasn't made just like an irredeemable character either. That's one of the traps I think a lot of writing goes into, is just making it so that there's nothing. There's also the other trap of this is a lot of modern storytelling, is like everything's so gray. It's like you can almost just as well side with the villain as you can with the good guy, which is also problematic. But I don't know. I liked this quest a lot. I think it was really, really well done. Let's see.
Now I don't know what to think.
I didn't bring you here to think.
but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. Please, let me tell you what's really happening here.
Can I ask some questions?
Well, the poll was overwhelming as expected, but I thought I'd toss it up there anyway.
Sorry. I'm just...
Yeah, if you're going for straight, if you let you're just going for like best outcome as far as like mechanical benefits to the player, it's the same either way unless you spike Audra's stuff with Psycho, then you kill her, and then you just get, I'm wondering what happens. I think you just get Nox or you just get Anton. Otherwise, you should get 2 characters.
I believe you.
Even if you didn't come here to do the right thing, I did. And I will. Audra, please get behind me. Now.
Let's do this. Do it! Sorry. Should have just run.
Oh man, that death throw. You know, that.
Thank you for... Wait. Audra? She hates gunfire. She must have run to her room. We need to check on her and make sure she wasn't hurt.
So this is a technical. We ran into a technical issue with this at one draft of the quest. We had it working where Nox would actually run up without you, and for some reason, somewhere in the quest design, I think when we were rigging up our custom cells and copies of the cells, he just his AI just decided he didn't like it anymore, which was a bummer because it was always cool to see him go running up the elevator.
Going down. 6th floor.
So we had to go with the old teleport option. Where'd he go? Oh, he's stuck in the wall. Come on, you can do it, buddy. Come on, climb out of the wall. He's the T-1000. Come on, melt through the wall. Go. Oh, there he goes. He's taking his time.
What happened? Nox? How did I get here? Who is this? Is everything alright?
Better than all right. Our new friend here made sure of that.
Wait. I remember. There was a shooting in... Anton. Oh, no. He's dead, isn't he? He must be. He's not kicking down the door.
I'm sorry. He just showed up. And it all went so quickly and I...
It's all right. Well, it will be. I thought I'd finally gotten far enough away from home, but I should have realized he'd never stop looking. I don't know how you got wrapped up in all of this, and I don't really remember what happened in the lobby. But I do know my brother, and I know you did what you had to do. For what it's worth. It was the right thing to do. Even if my brother didn't see that. Even if he couldn't.
You just go to, you want to work for me? I saved you.
How are you feeling?
Thanks to you, I'm feeling, well, like me. But Anton, after our parents died, he was never the same.
What happened?
Cam's dad OD'd first, then Mom a year later. Guess it runs in the family. Makes it hard for me to blame my brother for, well, anything, really. I won't lie and say that I never got high, but the first time I tried Jet, it was like a whole world came into focus.
I'm with you, Audra.
Days didn't
all about
blur
the Jet.
into weeks, months anymore. It didn't feel like I was high. It felt like I was here. Really here for the first time. That's when I realized all those chems I'd been doing, I was looking for the right medication. So I started dosing with Jet. Anton couldn't handle it. He kept saying he wanted his sister back, like he never noticed.
Agent Milkman, thank you for the donation. King Gav, let me buy you a cup of coffee. You guys are awesome. Thank you. You are awesome. Appreciate that. All right, we gotta go for you. Want to work for me? I feel like asking saying to somebody you are different.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
a little
I
much.
What do you say, Knox?
I'll just go for the recruit
Want
instead.
to help me pay back our new friend for
A
everything
little
he's
slightly
done for
less
me?
awkward.
For both of us. Hell yes, I do.
Before we head out, I'd like to take my brother home and rest him on the hill next to our folks. I can get there and back in a day or two's time. After that, we're at your disposal. And listen, thank you.
All right, we'll add him to the Sunshine Tidings family for when we go over there to do our big recruitment. And now we get to the Ron's recruitment services. So, but yeah, that was I like that quest a lot. I think that's been a pretty fan favorite. People really like that we tackled something like that. I think a lot of people were probably surprised that we tackled something like that because, you know, it's a settlement mod and then we're dealing with things like that. But that was one of the fun parts of working with a lot of different writers, is letting them explore different things. There's a couple of quests in here that are can get you thinking or get a tear in your eye, which is nice. Like the Odette one, I know was really good. Hopefully we get to do that one on camera. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead to the Ron and let's use his services real quick before we. And then we're gonna bring on Captain Laserbeam shortly. Here, Captain Laserbeam has an add-on pack. Many of you are probably using the jam pads, and Captain also has been working with us on the team to create some content for SS2. You will have seen the CPD building plans that. I think I saw somebody. Sorry, I got distracted. I think somebody was talking about in chat, asking about these three guys. I think they just disappear eventually. I think they're just props. They like it. It makes the scene a little more exciting to see people disappear. And so there's a question of like, oh, is Nox part of a gang? Anyway, back to the point. Captain Laserbeam is working on stuff for the team right now. If you've gotten access to the CPD building plans, he did those, and has a couple more in the works that you'll get in future patches. Audra should have high intelligence, but it has endurance. I'll have to check on that. That does sound incorrect. I'll have to check the spreadsheet, though. I trust Cynical, who put together all the stats for the characters. So that's it. Most likely, if it was supposed to be endurance, she had a reason, and if it's not supposed to be endurance, then that's my fault, because I probably either entered all of the data or I inspected it and missed it. So that's on me. All right, let's head to Diamond City and talk to our man, the Ron. So we just recruit. Let's see, who did we recruit? We got Knox, Audra, McCready. So there's 3. The Powell family, that's 6, and then Franklin is 7. So we've got ourselves 7 really strong people to send to HQ, which is going to be awesome. Probably going to do it next week. I want to get this quest from the Ron and then see who he gives us, and then we'll switch gears over to chat time. The Rons. Good to see you got your hair fixed, buddy.
All right. What's the word?
Hey.
Oh, yeah. It's business time.
He's got his fingers in cigarette mode. Find new settler.
I need you to find someone.
Then you came to the right place, baby. If skilled labor's what you need, then the Ron can hook you up. The Commonwealth's just filled with people. Strong mercs, anti-farmers, savvy workers. Whatever your settlements might need, I can find. So, tell me, what kind of person are you looking for? Strong, wise, tough, charming, smart, fast, lucky? Name it.
I'm looking for someone.
Let's see what we got at. Okay, I think we got... Do we have the full special available? No, we don't got anybody lucky available. That's okay. All right, we'll go strength, because we're still in the build-up phase. We need facilities people, so let's get some muscle.
Strong.
Say no more. This is who you're looking for. Come back again. Oh, yeah.
Some of his oh yeahs are so they lack the energy, and other times they've got all of it. Oh, they went to Sanctuary. All right, off we go. Nope, can't pass over from here. Whoops. Yeah, I know my quest or my endurance is terrible. I think that's a stat I just totally skipped on. What is my endurance? What did we do? Oh, it's not terrible. 4. I don't know why it craters every time. What do we have here? Is there any? I know I think last time I said that level 31 there's 2 points I'm gonna need, but I can still use 1 more. And I did not mean, I should not have grabbed Mysterious Stranger. It's worth grabbing earlier, but yeah, I grabbed it too late just for dialogue options, but now it's been too long, so that's all right. Maybe there'll be a chapter 3 benefit to having Mysterious Stranger. Do I need any of this stuff? Not really. I guess I could just take the plus damage. Yeah, I'm not gonna do Idiot Savant. I guess I could. My int is not that high. What is my int? 4? Actually, I should do int. At this point, I should just do int and do Scrapper, because that way I can just scrap some of my weapons and stuff and actually get uncommon stuff. So let's do that. We can get Scrapper next level. Alright. Well, not next level now, because I said I need level 30 and 31 for my 2 perks, but that is a long ways off to worry about. Although we're going to get quite a lot of XP from doing all these settler quests. Patriot of the West, I am someone who has dealt with so-called mental health professionals for 20 years. I've never been sober. They always have some drug they want to push, so I can see both sides of this one. Yeah, I think that was... I remember the writer of that spent a lot of time talking about that with wanting to not... or to make it a difficult decision and make sure that both sides were told well. Let's see here. Who do we got? Someone hanging out in the communications building. Oh, it's everyone's favorite settler.
Carne asada.
Carne is such a bummer. So we did a poll on the forums of like who everyone's favorite settlers were to see which voice actors we should try and get back. And Carne won by a fair margin, but the voice actor he's actually works professionally in Hollywood. I can't really think of his name. I don't think he's in anything major. Like he's not like a big actor or anything. His name's Dan Garza. So if you IMDb him, you'll find his stuff. But he's currently working on a TV show, and he said this voice killed his throat for like a week, so he can't risk it right now. So unfortunately, we won't be able to bring Carne back.
And you are?
Oh, they call me Carne Asada. That's the only name that really matters right now. I'm looking for a place to lay low. I peddle medicine. Well, chems actually. But for medicinal purposes. They have a shit ton of uses, hermano. Especially out here on a settlement. A stim pack can help with pain or patch up a broken limb. Need a boost to fix a piece of machinery or tech? Mentats. That's what you need.
Sure, let's talk.
Right. So running my business often attracts the wrong.
So somebody tweeted they had a bug with the Carne quest, so I'm hoping we'll run into that and we can get that fixed. I'm not going to do the quest right now, but I'm going to get the objective and then we'll save and move over to chat mode. So for those of you guys who haven't been here for this part of the stream, I basically just put the game on, not pause, but I'm going to put myself in free cam mode and just kind of hover above the settlement and just go into kind of little podcast / interview scenario. So if you've got questions for me or Captain Laserbeam, just spam away in the chat. Just make sure you're using @KingGath so I see them. And then Captain Laserbeam and I are going to just have chat for a little bit, and then we'll switch over to questions and kind of go back and forth around like that. Sure,
okay, I'll help you.
Bueno, don't worry, I pay well. And I can help out here after you help me out, hermano. You won't regret this.
There we go. All right, let's mark that so I remember that we're doing it. Let's save. Let's see, we're at LP day 21, end of session. Hey, and our time of day looks nice for a rare treat. Set time scale to 0.1, TFC, fly up in the sky. So we can watch our settlers wander around. There we go. All right, let's call up Captain Laserbeam, see how he's doing tonight. Ring, ring. Hello, sir.
Hey, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. Let's check with chat. Can you guys hear Captain all right? You wanna talk and introduce yourself while they can use that for a sound check?
Sure. This is Captain Laserbeam calling in to talk about Sim Settlements 2.
Heck yeah. All right, let me know how he sounds, guys. I'm guessing a little quiet because you're a little bit quiet for me. So let me mess with my audio settings here. All right, of course, this is going to be a day where I can't. It's not obvious. Some days I can figure out exactly how to mess with the settings.
If I can turn it off.
All right. So sometimes it's really easy for me to find the setting, and then other times I forget. Like today, let's see, output volume. Yeah, let me jack you up to like 131. How's that sound? Let's see here.
All right.
Yeah, a little quiet. Okay, here you go. Try talking again.
Can you hear me now?
Whoa.
Is that better?
Whoa, now you're real loud. All right, you're good. Don't change yours. I'll change mine. I think we both turned you up. That we got to meet in the middle here. So let's go to like 112%. All right, how about there?
Okay, how do I sound now?
All right, we'll give everybody a moment. Okay, last time. Whoa, Carbox says. Whoa. All right, we'll start up some chatting and then we'll check back because chat's always like 10 seconds behind. So how are you tonight? It's late for you.
I'm doing okay. Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah, trying to kick a cold, so my voice is a little rougher than usual, but otherwise I'm doing okay.
Right on. Well, if you feel like you need to jet out and I'm going on too long, feel free feel free to tell me, and we'll work with it. But thank you for making mods, man. Thanks for getting into the Sim Settlement stuff. Your add-on pack is quite the thing. It's got a lot going on in it.
Yeah, it does. It's funny because originally when I started it out, I had this goal of I'm gonna do 10 buildings, and that was back in the SS1 days. And obviously, I kept having new ideas and kept going a little more after that. So, I think it was interesting, kind of, and then of course you start talking. I started talking to a lot of the other people working on add-ons and sharing ideas, and then you get a lot of sort of those ideas bounce off each other, and then you have even more ideas, and now like 40, I think, or something like that.
You're up to 40. You're up to 40 building plans.
I'm really close to it.
Does that include the ones you've already put in SS2? Because if not, then there you go. You passed 40.
Yeah, if you count the ones in SS2, I'm definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's kind of like it reminds me of any hobby when you surround yourself with like-minded folks, you find yourself more addicted to it.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I've had to quit several hobbies because I get so into them. Like Magic the Gathering, I had to quit for that reason. I surrounded myself with people who love it, and then we're all burning cash to keep up. Or MMOs, same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to fall into that kind of stuff. I mean, I think one of the more interesting things too was, it definitely, I was kind of on the fence about whether or not I was going to keep working on it back towards the end of SS1 after Conqueror, and then when you sort of unveiled, SS2, because I was kind of like being like, I don't know if I want to continue doing this, or just kind of move on, because like you were saying, I have a lot of hobbies myself too. But then when I saw, the features of SS2 and how much of a leap forward that was from SS1, that kind of, I was trying to get out, but you pulled me right back in.
It really was a huge leap. Like it was a lot of fun to rewrite the code, but I knew, like, going in, like, a lot of the design decisions I made were based on the feedback you guys in the add-on packer community were giving me, because you were one of the people who was big on like testing playing with all the buttons. Like you have asked about pretty much everything that's on those on the script properties. Like, you have asked a question about them.
Yeah, it's it's always interesting, and I think it is one of those things that as you get behind the scenes, you sort of see all the moving parts that make up the ecosystem that SS2 has. It does sort of give you ideas of well, how can I poke this thing over here and turn this knob over here, and then what'll happen? And then also, I would just sort of, one of the ways I always approached it was looking at, I would look at what building plans were out there, and I think, what do I want that, as a player, what would I want to see? It's either interesting and a little weird or unique, or just something that I feel like was missing. So that was one of the major things that always sort of got me into trying new building plans and building new building plans. I know that I was one of the people that first went in with SS1 like hard into all of the DLC inspired sets. Like all of my early sets were like Nuka World stuff, because a lot of stuff people were making was base game stuff. And I kind of thought, say what you will about Nuka World, I kind of loved the art direction of it and a lot of the design of it. So that was one of the things that made me want to see, what more stuff could I get in there from Nuka World to sort of bring something different to the landscape.
Yeah, and yours was definitely like one of the more colorful add-on packs that came out, and I think part of it was because I think in my documentation for the SS1 add-on pack, I was kind of encouraging people to like, don't forget those players who can't afford the DLC, and then but like now it doesn't matter. Like now, if you're not playing with the DLC, it's kind of a question of why. Like it's so cheap now to get all that stuff, and it like if you buy a version of the game now, it just comes like you just get it automatically. But over the year, when the game first comes out, I've had a love-hate relationship with DLC, because I grew up on games when they didn't have DLC. It was just expansions, and they were huge. Like an expansion always was like massive value. It was like you get like a big story enhancement that's like 30 to 40% as big as the base game, costs half as much. It was like such a great value proposition. And then DLC, where they're just like you end up paying the same amount as the original game and you get less content. It's like, this is no good.
Yeah, it's definitely variable quality for sure. I think of some of the classic examples. Even within Bethesda games, if you go back and you think of things like Tribunal and stuff like that from Morrowind, which was obviously huge. Shivering Isles from Oblivion. But then they're always the clunkers. The infamous horse armor.
Yeah.
I'm showing my age now talking about that stuff, but that's kind of how long I've been playing these games. But yeah, it has always been one of those things that you used to call them DLC, call them expansion packs.
Right.
That's what everyone would say back in the day. So it's kind of like when that term DLC entered, it's kind of like, oh, we can sell you stuff of all different sizes,
right?
That are going to be various value propositions, But it's been kind of interesting to see how it evolved, because I remember people used to really give Bethesda a hard time for it, and now I feel like they're not one of the biggest offenders in that kind of
right. But they're the ones who started the horse armor meme. Like they're one of the biggest ones of like that took PC users and took us from calling it DLC to microtransactions, right? Like I feel like horse armor was one of the first PC ones where it was like, what is this nonsense? Like now, everybody just does it. Like and for a lot of like for kids, I think I've talked about this before on my podcast and everything, is my nephews play Fortnite and they think nothing of the fact that the whole thing is littered with these tiny, overpriced things. And so it's just like normal for people who grew up, in the last 20 years to just have like little things you spend extra money on. But I still...
Yeah, you almost never see anything without some kind of item.
Right. Yeah, now it would be weird to not have like, why are you leaving money on the table, buddy?
That's the way the business works. No one would finance your game without like, where's your monetization plan for all those microtransactions?
right. Like this is nonsense.
Yeah, maybe it all did start with horse armor. Maybe that was the original sin of all of this.
I definitely remember it being like a big that was like one of the big faux pas that Bethesda created, where it was like just put a pot mark on their reputation. But yeah, you're right. I think they're generally pretty good about it. Like I think people, I remember when Automatron came out, people were like mad about it, like its cost to value. But I was like, man, this is crazy good value. Like that Especially when I know how much work is involved in it behind the scenes. Like the robot feature was so much work for them to do.
Obviously, you know, to me the quest part of I didn't think was bad. I mean, it's 3 quests, kind of 2 new dungeons.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of that whole thing with the robot workbench and, you know, build all these robots and mess around with all of that. I mean, that was to me the value proposition.
Yeah.
And I know I spent a lot of time messing with that feature when it came out. You know, seeing exactly how crazy I could, you know, turn what crazy things I could turn Ada into. You know, have her like is like a jacked sentry bot following you around by the end. So it was, and you know, I definitely think, you know, Far Harbor to me is one of those things that, you know, that's so good it's almost its own game.
Right. Far Harbor is wonderful.
It just has, because like it brings a lot of things to this that you really hope to see in the franchise. You know, kind of those tough choices about, you know, the war never changes. There's a conflict. How are you going to resolve it? And there are no like easy, you know, purely good choices kind of available to you. So, you know, that was a big step. That was an interesting thing. And yeah, I saw Caravan talk about the emptiness of Nuka World, even despite the design. I kind of agree with it. I kind of agree with him. I do kind of enjoy that it's like, just like I view it as like kind of 6 wacky dungeons.
Right.
Is my perspective on Nuka World, which to me was fun. You know, that's always a fun part.
Yeah.
Of when I play through going through Nuka World, because I do enjoy those sort of wacky dungeons, even if there's not much kind of role playing to it, and the raider piece of it is pretty half baked. But you know, it's a good time.
I think a lot of people. I think the criticism with a lot of Nuka World. There's 2 big ones that I've seen. One is it's weird to raid your own settlements. Like that just feels really stupid. And then I think the second one is like there's that big giant world space, and it doesn't feel as explorable as Far Harbor or the Commonwealth. Like,
sure.
Which is like, that's fair, because you go in, you know, you see that big giant world, like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun, and then like all your exploration is just mostly in the park. You know, there's a few side quests outside, but it's nothing as deep as like Far Harbor's got a lot of great side quests in addition to that main storyline in it. So it was like, oh, cool, this is what their DLC is gonna be like.
Yeah, and 3 pretty cool settlement spaces, and yeah, it's I think it was one of those ones that if maybe it had been one of the earlier DLCs, it wouldn't have been, you know, maybe poo-pooed on as much, but considering it was kind of one of the last ones, it was, and they were selling it as now you can be a raider.
Yeah.
You know, yes, that's technically accurate. But as you mentioned, raiding your own settlements, it felt a little strange.
Very, very strange. Well, it gave a lot of good stuff still, and now, like you said, like for your plots, you've got lots of. It has some awesome decorations. Like the stuff you get to out of the build kit is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely, and I do think it added a lot of fun new creatures too. And obviously, you know, for ages, half the weapon models people made relied on that handmade rifle animation.
That's true, yeah.
So, that clearly was something that was very needed.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's you know, it's been interesting to see kind of how Fallout 4 played out and how we're still kind of breathing life into it so many years later.
It's Fallout 4 is in a strange place with the modding and everything. I mean, like we've got 76, but 76 feels, well, obviously we can't mod it the same way, and obviously that's what so it doesn't feel like it's a Bethesda game. It feels, I don't know, it feels like its own little thing. It feels more MMO than RPG. And then you've got I don't know, I've said that. What do you think about this? Have you played 76 first of all?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I've played it quite a bit.
So to me, Fallout 4 looks better. Is that my imagination? Like, I feel like there's some really cool visuals you can see, like when you look out over the scene, like the landscape looks better, obviously in 76, but just like looking at a scene like this right now, like I feel like the fidelity of Fallout 4 is better. Like it just looks crisper and nicer.
Yeah, I think some of that's kind of optimization so that it can be played online. Probably would be just my suspicion.
Sure.
Which is why sometimes things do look a little muddled when you play that. But there are some there is some incredible visuals in Fallout 76. Definitely, like you're saying, it's not as crisp. I would agree with you. But yeah, when you definitely some of the things that I've done in that game have been images that'll stick with you.
Yeah.
Even though it does feel, the MMO aspect of it does feel a little weird sometimes because it is like nothing you do in the game feels like it has any permanence.
Yeah.
But it's, I do find it to be a fun game. I do feel like once they put Wastelanders in, it did feel more like a real Fallout game. But maybe I'm not the person to ask about that. I was a fan of Fallout Tactics, a much maligned game.
I loved that game. I played the crap out of that game when it came out. I loved that so much. Big fan.
Yeah,
of that.
That was a wacky game. And it's certainly a strange. It's certainly different than every other Fallout game. But
yeah,
I always thought it was fun, kind of taking some of those XCOM.
It worked well. It worked great. It worked perfect with the VAT system and everything. Like it was actually like it felt like a natural extension of the Fallout formula at the time. Like I don't remember. I think I was too young to notice if the story was extra bad. I just liked the turn-based strategy of the team games. Like I remember did you ever play the Commandos series? I think that's what it was called. It was like you were
it definitely is similar to that.
Yeah, that was like so. I remember there was like a whole bunch of games like that came out around then. And they were like precursors to XCOM, effectively.
Yeah, and Fallout Tactics was funny. I remember because it was one of those games that you had to, because I guess it was kind of a flop. One of the many reasons Interplay ended up going bankrupt, I guess. But it was hard to find because I remember I found Fallout 1 and 2. And at the bargain bin at Walmart, it was a 2 CD set.
Nice.
It was like a summer. I remember in college, I was working a job at a movie theater, and I came to Walmart because it was the only place open at 2 a.m. when I got out of the theater. And I just went strolling through, and I looked in the bargain bin to be like, oh, do they have any good games here? And I was like, what's this? It was Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, a double stick. Obviously, I played those. I loved them. And then I was looking online to be are there any more games in this series? And then it was Fallout Tactics. But WoW wasn't hard to find. I think I had to buy it off eBay or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't find it. You couldn't even find it on Amazon, which barely existed at the time. But it was a wacky game. I enjoyed it. I think the story is not bad. It just doesn't have a lot of complexity to it.
Right.
I think what was interesting about it is it did have some RPG elements because a lot of the different scenarios that you would go into, the game would kind of take different directions based on how you resolve them.
Sure.
And that was kind of interesting because it dictated how your army or your squad would who would be available to recruit for your squad.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was funny by the end of the game when you got this weird ragtag bunch of Brotherhood of Steel guys with a random super mutant,
right?
And, a robot, and then a death claw. And you could just take them all and go against it was evil robot army. I think was what we're dealing with by the end of that game.
See now I'm gonna have to go play it again to remember all that stuff because I'm working on all of the attack mechanics for 3.0, and I'm gonna want to see what gems can I mine from that old.
It was, I played it a few years ago, and it was still a good time. I mean, obviously there's gameplay elements of it that are very antiquated,
right?
But I still enjoyed myself playing it. I was like, oh man, this is harder than I remember it, first of all, but. It's like any of these kind of squad-based games, like Commandos and everything back in the day. It's don't get too attached to any of your squad members because they take a wrong step into a landmine field and they're gone.
Yeah, they were designed much more puzzles with one solution back then. Like there was a way to get everybody through, but you had to do exactly the right thing in the right order. Like, and now those types of games tend to be a lot more forgiving. So
yeah. Well, I remember there were things like if you had someone who could like disarm traps or explosives, that was like really useful in Fallout Tactics because you could make shortcuts through stuff. But yeah, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it, and it's like it is one of those things that I think deserves more respect. I feel like it does belong in the Fallout pantheon, but
yeah.
A lot of people have never even, they've only seen screenshots
right.
at
Did it because I know like Bethesda gave away I think Fallout 1 and 2 if you downloaded their launcher.
I think you do get Tactics.
You get Tactics too. Yeah, but now that's gone, right? Because they moved it over to Steam, so I don't even know how that works.
I think you can get it on Steam. I think I saw that. I'll have to go check.
Yeah, I have like 3 copies of it now because I got it once through the Bethesda thing, and I have multiple accounts of Bethesda. And I back a few years back, GameStop had like this nuke you could buy, like it was like a Fallout nuke, and inside of it was CDs of all the old games.
Oh wow,
so
that's
like,
fun.
I have that on my Fallout altar behind me.
That's a nice prop.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Best I've got is a bottle of Nuka Dark.
Oh, you got one of those?
I did it because I was morbidly curious. It wasn't bad. It tasted like Kraken.
Oh, you ended up drinking it. You didn't just keep it for a prop because wasn't there a lot of outrage over that because it was just like a plastic shell on it or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but
it still looks kind of cool. I mean, I don't mind it.
I think I saw that company's going back to bat with another one.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder if they're gonna learn their lesson from the backlash and do like an actual molded glass bottle this time, because that's what I think everybody thought, right?
Yeah, I think people thought they were getting a big molded glass bottle, but it is pretty sturdy. I mean, yeah, I knew it was gimmicky when I was buying it. I'm fully prepared to be completely ripped off here.
Yeah.
But then I got it and it was like, okay, well, it's rum. Let's see how it tastes. And it wasn't terrible. So.
All right. Yeah. That one I avoided. I think I had it in my cart for a minute and then I just decided I don't really drink enough anymore to bother with it. I have quite the I don't have any space left to put another collectible. Like I got like the big Pit Boy and like the
many tchotchkes.
Yeah, too many Fallout tchotchkes, so I don't need any more. But otherwise, yeah, I almost grabbed that. I was on a kick there. I was buying a bunch of stuff. I have like some random stuff that I never opened where I'm just like, okay, I gotta stop. Like I bought a battery, like how sometimes they have like little batteries you can carry around with it. It holds a big charge and you can plug your devices in. I've got one of those of a fusion core.
That's cool.
And I've got like the Pit Boy that was available for Fallout 76, and I never even opened it. And I'm like, I gotta stop with this stuff. Like it's just collectoritis triggering me. So I think that's why I didn't end up getting the Nuka Dark, but it's cool to see them doing all that merch stuff. I feel like Bethesda had a moment somewhere where they remembered Spaceballs, the real money for the movies and the merchandising.
Certainly. Yeah, the Bethesda store is I remember when there used to be like just a few corny Oblivion t-shirts back in the day, and now it's crazy how much stuff they're selling.
Yeah. There's so much stuff available. I think that's probably what stopped me though, because it's like, well, I can't collect it all anymore, so it's not. It's not worth trying. So a good thing for my wallet. Oscar Fry, thank you for the donation. Sorry I missed that earlier. Oscar says, so you said you wanted to improve the fast travel system with subways. Well, look into Subways of the Commonwealth, standalone by RBC. So yeah, I have seen that mod. That's I'm glad that mod exists. I was actually hoping to do like stuff where the player could build it themselves as opposed to having it like an actual service.
Oh, interesting.
Like I'd love the idea of being able to build trains above world, not underground or even underground. I saw something Carvok did in one of his city plans, which had me inspired in that direction of, I don't know if you saw this. He did a city plan in Sunshine where you use the ladders from Sim Settlements 2 and it clips you through the world down underneath, and he built a vault under there.
Yeah, I did. I checked that out. It was I have my own like layout that I do for Sunshine, but when I saw Carvox, I was like, oh, I might have to be Carvox because I have my favorite way I like to build each of the settlements. And sometimes it's stuff I do, sometimes it's some of the city plans floating out there. But yeah, I think that build for Sunshine is one of my favorites, definitely, that I've ever seen. So,
But that gave
yeah,
me the idea
really
if we
cool
could do it with.
Flip down there. I was thinking, I was amazed at how he figured out how to do that.
Yeah,
so.
that's really cool, and that the game lets you do that too. I'm like, I didn't even think about that. That like, oh, I guess the workshop mode doesn't care if you're underneath.
Yeah, it's like floors, the ground. What is that?
That
use that wacky collision to your advantage.
Yeah, for sure. But that made me think like, oh, I bet we could do that under the whole game world of just like spawning the pieces that make up subway tunnels and just like build actual subways connecting the settlements. I bet like we could probably do that.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. I know that I use a mod that does that all the time. It's just called Underground Hub or whatever. It was originally made by somebody else, but I know Whiskey Tango Fox took it over.
Does it do? Is it actual an underworld, or is it like a loading screen?
No, it's well, you go into it. It's actually an underground settlement, but it has like different doors that have like tunnels. And when you go through the tunnel, yeah, it does take you to some sort of, basically you pop out of a manhole.
Okay.
Somewhere in the world, and they're placed all around.
Oh, that's cool.
But it is interesting because a lot of them are kind of close to key locations, and I'm a survival player, so I like it because, even if you have fast travel turned on survival, you burn a lot of time. Like every time you fast travel, it's like, oh, now I've got a disease, and
right.
tired, and I have to sleep, and I need food, and I need water, and so I use that thing to get around a lot. But I thought it's really interesting because it does have this sort of underground settlement you can build out in there. I even put sim settlements through plots in there. Be like, will it work? The answer is yes, it does.
Nice.
So it's kind of interesting to play around with that. A lot of people kind of use it as like a little base for their companions, but it even has like a door that'll take you to Far and Nuka World too, because I think it exists almost as its own world space. Is how it's set up.
Oh,
but
cool.
It's it's really the best. It's kind of simple in terms of mods that do that, but I like it. Maybe it's a little unimmersive, but it's immersive for me.
Sure. It gives you a little hub world. Another way to. It's kind of like another version of the mini map that's a little more immersive, right? Because you got to walk to a particular tunnel as opposed to opening your map and clicking on something. So it's an inconvenient map.
Yes, it is. And it does only go to like 7 or 8 places, I think, on the map. And
okay.
Some of them you still got quite a hike once you pop out of one of those manholes. So yeah, no, it's interesting. But yeah, the idea of being able to build something to kind of connect the settlements would be really interesting, aside from just like taking Caravan fast travel and stuff like that.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if the game would let you do it too. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like Carvok's shown, it would let us do it. But probably with F4SE, with Place Everywhere rather, which that does use F4SE. You could do it for sure, but I wonder. I wonder if it would be possible to do it without that, because that would be a fun little feature. But you can almost do like a Minecraft type thing where you're like under the ground and building it in front of you as you go along, like building yourself a little tunnel. That could be a fun little feature. Stuff like that. That is what I was talking about that Oscar mentioned of building some sort of like an underground subway like that, where you can actually build it to connect the settlements, and then like a overground. I really would love to see, even if it wasn't like manually build these things, if you could like do a quest that makes a monorail appear or trains come back, and then and then it connects major key points in the game world, and then you actually see the trains running along the tracks. Like that would be really cool. That's the type of stuff that I want to see in games in general. More stuff where you do stuff in the game and it makes stuff happen like that. And I think Fallout's a great franchise for that formula, because there's all these like crazy technology, like from the there are obviously normal technologies for us, right? Like phones and television. We got magic effectively with all the technology we have, but in that world where the magic exists but is dormant because of lack of infrastructure, and like it's easy to bring it back, like that's really cool. You could do the same thing in like something like Elder Scrolls with like take the Dwemer technology and bring it to the overworld or whatever. But yeah, that idea of like just the player does cool stuff and then they get massive changes to the world to show their the progress of what they're doing just really appeals to me.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more interesting things I would say about Fallout 4 in particular is that, you know, rebuilding is obviously a core theme of the game, which is a little different than kind of, you know, there's obviously the war never changes, but that's as the theme for all the other games, and that's there in Fallout 4. But there's definitely this hopeful undercurrent of kind of rebuilding the world that they brought in with the settlement system. And you know, I think that's an interesting different direction for the series because a lot of the previous Fallouts can be pretty bleak. I did see someone the other day say something like, "I just don't like 4 because it's too happy," which is funny to me because you don't really think of Fallout 4 as necessarily being a happy game, but immediately I knew what that person was talking about.
Yeah,
because it is more of a hopeful game than the other Fallouts for sure.
Well, it has more. It has more than one tone, color-wise. It's like it's like the thing I remember most artistically from the Fallout 3 in New Vegas is like one is green and one is orange, and then all of a sudden Fallout 4 is like, here, have all the colors again. It's like,
there's
oh,
blue
this
and
is
red.
Nice.
Look at that. Yeah, I mean, you see these beautiful Art Deco buildings in Boston that are actually still kind of intact or have some pieces blown out.
Yeah,
but that was certainly different from what you are used to seeing in all the other games. Yeah, especially after 3, when you're just used to seeing a blown apart Washington D.C. All the time, just gray rubble as far as the eye can see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always torn on that, like going back and playing those of like I really love Fallout 4 for having for the amount of time. I think Fallout 4 having the full color palette makes it more enjoyable to play for as many hours as I have. But from an artistic standpoint, it definitely was it was definitely probably a bummer for folks. Like I kind of get that. Like that's like all of Bethesda's most popular games, even Skyrim, like has the pretty drab palette, right? Everything's like whites, grays, and browns. And so like artistically Fallout 4 was kind of like a lame direction from that perspective, but man, it's way easier on the eyes and more enjoyable to spend this much time in it, I think, to have the full, you know, like you can see like right on my screen right now, we've got some bright yellows, we've got some bright greens, some bright red. It's a lot easier to handle it on a permanent basis. I don't get depressed playing this game ever.
Yeah, it is very different sort of style, and you know, the color palette is certainly the only thing I can think of is that when you go back to some of the games, they would obviously, when they would throw in a splash of color, it was to emphasize how weird something was,
right?
Like in Shivering Isles, you know, or in you know, even in Morrowind, in places we would go, you know, and there would be a lot of color. It would be like in the weirder places of the game. It'd be like, now you're in a strange place. Look at all the colors.
Yeah.
You know? So it's I hadn't thought about that being their sort of art direction as a studio, but that's true.
And it's a good. I think it's a good move because it does let you, like, you can highlight things without having to be like just having a splash of color suddenly brings attention to it. Like that's a good. It's helpful for helping people navigate the world. If you want to attract their attention to things, you can splash some color on it. And I don't think that Fallout 4 can't do that. Like you just use, like they do seem to have, you know, most of the colors are like drabber versions of them. You don't see any. So like if they need something, draw attention to something, they can use neons or you know, something with a particularly bold version of a color. Like there's still some semblance. Like you look at my screen right now and you can see that even the colorful bits, there's still a certain uniformity to it. There's definitely, like, they definitely have an art direction. There's definitely their palette does have a certain, I don't know the words for this. I'm not, I don't have the art background to discuss it, but I can see that there's a uniformity to this. Maybe it's the fadedness and the dirt and everything. Like they did a good job keeping that all together, but yeah, it definitely, like, they went by going away from the kind of uniformed palette. It probably does make it a little harder. They probably had to build more assets to pull off the, like, I need attention drawn to this. They were probably forced then to, like, okay, well then we got to build a big set piece because otherwise it just looks like everything else. Whereas with Like I think that could be used as a way to get cheap with art usage, which is probably something they had to do pre Fallout 4 because they were a tiny studio. Like I think 100 people made Skyrim, and then you go to Fallout 4 and it was like they went up to like 400 people to make Fallout 4.
Yeah, it's like exponential increases.
Yeah, so like doing something like their old style of like, okay, if we simplify the palette and keep the focus on these, then when we need, then just adding color to something could be a cheap way to draw attention to it. Like maybe that was part of their discussions, which is totally reasonable, because these assets take a lot to create. Heck, just think about how much it takes just to do mashups and stuff, which you've done plenty of. It's a lot of work.
Totally. It is, for sure. Always trying to find that material that material file to actually match what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's like looking for a needle in a stack of needles.
It definitely is overwhelming when you first get into it. Like I remember when I first released the toolkit and was starting to get in communication with a lot of you guys, is like almost everybody came in with they were feeling overwhelmed of like, man, I don't know how to find, like I know what I want, but I have no, like I want a blue barrel, but I don't know how to find it. Like, and you just like slowly learn the weird naming scheme and everything.
Console is your friend then.
Yeah.
Go into the game and you're like pressing the cursor on everything you can find and be like, what is this called?
Hoping it's not baked into the pre-combines.
Yeah. That's had that happen to me plenty. Then I usually have to go into the actual CK and be like, what cell is it? Let's look at that cell. Now let me find what it's called.
Still
and,
better,
right.
A better console again, your friend, because it can give you even the cell ID and stuff.
Yeah, but it's a lot of that naming is very counterintuitive or has fun misspellings. You know, don't get me started on Billboard. I can't remember how they spell billboard in there, but it's not the correct way. I was always struggling trying to find that.
I remember my mind was blown when I discovered material swaps. Or it was like, oh my god, there's so many more. And like a lot of the things, like the posters and the billboards, there's not custom models for them in there. Like you only find them if you happen to do a material swap on the right one. And it was like, oh, there's just page after page of these. Like there's like 100 different posters available.
Yeah, and then there's like one where there's like, be like, billboard 1 or billboard 2, and the material swap that you apply will look completely different. If you apply the same material swap to both of them, it'll be a completely different picture.
Yeah.
Depending on which mesh that is. So I remember when I was trying to make the Soda Factory at my add-on, I was struggling with that because I was walking around the Vim factory being like, I see all these Vim posters. Where are they? In the CK? I cannot find them. And then I found out it was like, oh, you have to go to like billboard number 3 and apply, material swap number 2, and there it is. There's Vim's Captain's Blend, and I was, I had to. That was a fun amount of reverse engineering. But
yeah,
I'm glad I finally figured it out. But it was a journey for sure.
Well, you guys, you guys helped to drive the quality of SS2 in its pool of available options, because like I would always check out your guys' add-ons and be like, wait, how'd they find that thing? And then it was like, all right, well, let's add that into the Wasteland construction kit, so that we had most of it, because now most of that stuff we just preemptively created it in the I'm sure those of you guys who are add-on pack authors have seen the PvP items that was for Project Blueprint, and those are all like a lot of those items we've never used once. We just threw them in because it was like, this is going to make it a lot easier for people to design with.
And it certainly does. I mean, obviously, if you can find it in the PvP first, it's easier to use that because you don't want to duplicate. I guess it doesn't hurt having all the extra forms, but it's one less thing for the game to have to think about.
Right.
You can use an existing form. But yeah, I think it was also very critical for me because I was kind of late to the game in SS1. When I released, or when I started to get into it, so I could rely on people, who were already working on it, who had already sort of done all of that initial work to coach me through it, because, they were at that point people like Tinuvia and XV and even Uit gave me a lot of great tips back in the day. When they were involved. Without them, I would have really felt like I was adrift. not that your tool, not that your the tutorial kit isn't great, but there's always some sort of unexpected weirdness you run into.
Oh yeah, no, I prefer people to tell me my toolkit sucks so that I can make it better. When people shower me with praise, I'm not inspired to fix anything. I saw an interview with Seth MacFarlane yesterday, and he was like, and this, I'm not from New England, but he said something like, I'm from New England. We only respond to criticism, and that's kind of how I am too. Like, the positive stuff is good, but it's not going to inspire me to react. I like when people tell me the toolkit's bad or didn't have enough. But I think that's, even if it is perfect, like even if it covers all the bases, there's inevitably going to be an information overload point where you're going to just like, your eyes are going to glaze over and you're going to miss some stuff. Or it's going to phrase, a tutorial is going to phrase things in a way that doesn't click with you. And then you're going to need to be able to ask questions to somebody. So like having that secondary source of, the forums or Discord. I think Discord is perfect for that sort of thing. Like I've a lot of people who talk to me a lot know I hate this move to replace forums with Discord. I think that's really stupid. I think there's certain information that needs to live in a database that can be indexed by search engines. Like I think forums will always have a place, but Discord is phenomenal for stuff like this, where you're just like, all right, I need to take it to the next level and I need to connect with somebody where I can ask questions in real time. So like I think the add-on makers Discord was a huge boon to everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely where I learned a lot of what I needed to know to sort of do what I wanted to do. Which, as you pointed out, I'm often playing with the weird things.
Yeah, you often DM me with like, hey, how can we make this thing work better? Or how can we make this, like we were just talking about the, my mind's blank. Yeah, the restocking.
Shops.
Thank you, restocking custom shops. And then I started thinking, it was like, I think I told you, I was like, I got to stop myself. This is a rabbit hole. Because I immediately opened the code and I'm like, yeah, I bet I could do that. And then it's like, oh, this is going to take a while.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I will try to see if there's a way I can get it to do what I want to do within the actual framework before I try to bug you on stuff like this. Because a lot of times there is a way. It's just sometimes you have to think about it differently than you thought, than you would approach it at first. At least that's why I've, because I as someone who's done a lot of non-traditional sort of, production plots, I had to come up with some interesting ideas and workarounds for how I was going to make those things work.
Yeah, I always try and give you guys a lot of hooks to play with, but inevitably you guys will come up with something where I'm like, I hadn't thought about that. So, and that usually happens to me too. Like when like a lot of the hooks that got added to SS2 versus SS1 were because you guys kept asking me questions where I'm just like, that's a good idea, and that wouldn't be that hard to add support for. Like or like some of the stuff you guys will come up with ways to do it, and I'm like, oh, there's a way easier way I could let them do that, and then and I'll just adjust the code a little bit accordingly. So
yeah, kind of like how the convoluted ways we had to deal with unlocks for the SS2 unlock system.
Right.
Now once the SS2 unlock system came out, it was like, oh, now I can do all these things I wanted to do before, but had no idea how to do. Like make a giant apartment building need creation club content for that probably only 3 people have ever seen.
Yeah, that's that I love the unlock system. I feel like it opens up a lot of doors for you guys to do cool stuff. And it adds in that dopamine hit that you want in your games. Like there's something about those pop-ups of getting unlocks, like, oh man, so satisfying.
Yeah, I had to dial it back because when I was originally confirming my add-on for SS2, at first I was like, I'm going to make every plot unlockable. And then I thought, no, this is getting out of control really fast. So I had to dial that back. I was like, I know, I'll unlock the diner when they go do Order Up and they go see they go to Drumline Diner. That'll be a fun little tie-in. But then I started to be like, this is too much. I should just give people some stuff to play with, and we'll put the really special stuff behind unlocks.
Yeah.
Because it was way too easy to get carried away with that fast.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it could definitely get to a point where it becomes irritating. Where if you're getting it nonstop, though, one of the spots we have coming to Chapter 2 or to HQ 2.0, I think people could tie into that where it wouldn't feel obnoxious. Is I always thought it would be fun to have the engineering department's going to have a design category. And I always thought it would be cool. People could put in like research new building plan, and then people could use that as a tie-in for the unlock, where it was like if the player does that, you just register your building plan to a pool, and then it can get unlocked from that. Like that was one of the things that I always thought could be fun to do with HQ, is a way for a route for people to do that where it doesn't feel obnoxious. Where it's like the player is triggering it themselves, and they spend 20 points of engineering energy, and a day later, boom, they got a new building plan unlocked. So
that's an intriguing possibility for sure.
So that's another spot where it can happen, and especially one of the things that I don't know, maybe you've already thought about this, but one of the things that the unlock system can do especially in moments like that, is when people install a whole bunch of add-on packs or install a rather large add-on pack, it can be overwhelming the amount of options they have to where people just don't pay attention to individual options then. So like one of the things the unlock can do is allow you to drip feed the content so that people actually are excited to go try it all out. Now, like finding that balance is tough, because if every add-on pack author does it, then it could become spammy. So that was like one of those things where I was like, oh, the engineering department could help solve that problem of people who want to do that. Because like if I get a pop-up for a building plan and I haven't gotten a pop-up in a while and I don't find it, and I find it exciting, I'm gonna go try that out immediately, right? I'm gonna be like, oh, let's go see what this is like. Whereas if I just install a new add-on pack and I get 40 building plans, especially if they're all in one plot type, none of the individuals are going to necessarily feel special unless I'm like in the mood of like, I just want to go see what this guy designed. So that to me is one of those design problems I'm always trying to find a solution for, of like, how can we give the player tons of content and also put a spotlight on it, right? Because it's like if everything's special, nothing is special. You have that problem, and so the solution to that is time. Of like over a long enough period of time, there's moments where everything can be special. So I don't know how much yours drip feeds, or how much you or other add-on pack authors have thought about that, but
no, it's an interesting thing, because especially I've had some ideas, and I've talked about this on the Discord a little bit, to do some either an extension to my existing, or looking at a standalone add-on that has more external requirements, because obviously if you have too many external requirements, that can get out of control.
Right.
But if it was just kind of saying, hey, here's a separate add-on pack that has maybe 10 building plans in it, and just need this mod to be able to play it.
Right.
That could be done that way too, through sort of engineering research or some sort of drip process to introduce it.
Sure.
That's definitely a way to look at doing something like that. So that's really an interesting idea. I'm definitely, my add-on pack is done. I have about 5 or 6 fully baked ideas I need to get around to finishing. About, as it usually is, 20 or more half-baked ones.
I had so many.
That would be a fun way to introduce them. That would be a fun way to introduce them.
Sure. Well, I'll definitely add the hooks in for it, because it's like I really love when I can engineer something that gives you guys a lot of power where you don't have to do any coding. Like that's a lot of fun. Yeah. That's been a lot of fun with the building plan stuff. Like I'm doing a lot of that with the HQ code right now that I'm working on for 2.0, because HQ has. Oh, you were at the meeting I did on Friday. That was there's a lot of things that can be done with it.
Yeah, it was wild.
So the anything more I can add like that will be awesome to help people with that. But I think that you brought up an interesting point about like this, a small add-on pack with like 10 buildings or something. I noticed a lot of conversations in the add-on pack community of like, should I spin this off to its own thing? Should I keep it in the main? And it's a tough choice. Like I definitely understand, and like you guys have seen, I've succumbed to the appeal of it's fun to just put all my cool stuff in one mod, because then I know a ton of players who already have that mod are going to get it, whereas you spin off a new mod, there's a chance that less players download it, right? Like that's always a scary risk. I think now with the mod collections become slowly moving their way toward a proper release. Like they're out of alpha now, they're in public beta, and stuff like that. Like I think that risk is a little lower, and I think what also makes it lower is the ESL files. The issue with ESL, and especially when it comes to things like, well, I guess here's an advantage with building plans. So with the ESL, one of the risks always is if you forget to compact when you do a release, you're boned, right? You just screwed over your users. So that's like one of the problems with ESL. The nice thing with things like city plans and building plans is because of the core record that the game relies on doesn't have to change ever. Like, and like once that's compacted, you're good to go. I think it's a little less of a risk with SS2 content with that, where if you fail to do it. But I'd still say, people, any of you guys out there who are making add-on packs, if you're gonna ESL, just like create yourself a to-do checklist of like, I cannot forget this. Like plaster it on sticky notes all over and just never forget that, because it's such a bad idea. But I definitely think that there's probably, especially with Xbox players, there's definitely a lot of room and desire for smaller packs. Like I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think you have to fear as much of people not playing it just because you release something new. In fact, I would argue you probably have a chance of more people playing when you release something new, because you get the excitement factor again.
It's true, and people aren't always knowing, hey, I added this or that. I mean, for a long time, my add-on for SS1, and even in the early days of SS2, I think people assumed it from SS1, had Creation Club content required. Mm-hmm. But then I figured out, due to help from my fellow add-on authors, I finally figured out how to do it using soft requirements. But people didn't download it because they thought it was still a thing that required Creation Club content. Right. So, and that dogged me for a while. But eventually I think the message got out enough that you don't have to have it. You're going to see some extra stuff if you have it, but you don't have to have it. And there's a whole lot in here that you're going to get, even if you don't. So I think that there is that aspect, making those changes later and stuff later. Sometimes people that didn't download your mod in the first place or didn't track it, they're not going to know. Right. Because they're not going to know to follow it. And then whereas something new, it just appears. Like one thing I kind of really want to have fun with is, I don't know if you've taken a look at it, but the Mutant Menagerie mod.
I love that mod. I love that. It's such a cool mod.
Yeah, like I would love to do things like, hey, let's add some of the weird mutated ducks and have those appear in a rec plot or something fun like that. Yeah. Let's do additional spawns, and I can, it can be kind of an extension, either of my main one, or I could build whole plots. I think I've already played with like trying to create some sort of duck pond using that mod that spawns all the various water fowl. That's fun. That's like an interesting little piece of ambience into the game.
That mod, and then the Mutant Menagerie, and then there was another one with where somebody did like cybernetic mutant super mutants. I always wanted somebody to go start creating faction packs with those types of mods with all these weird creatures in them. Of just like let them be your soldiers. It would have been so fun. Like,
hey, if with Chapter 3, if that's a possibility, could be an angle for people.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think one of the things that'll make it more accessible with that is the faction pack system is going to be much more modular for the 3.0 patch, so people could register like an individual unit. Like you know that like somebody could do like Dolphin Soldier and just
you don't have to have a whole faction planned out. Because I tried to create a couple faction packs, and I was dogged by that situation too, because I had some ideas. I was like, oh, these would be fun units. Yeah. But I didn't necessarily felt like I had enough to have a fully baked faction. Especially because you kind of had to pick, if you wanted one settlement to be ruled, it was kind of like, okay, you could have different settlements in your empire, but they kind of, or different factions in the empire, but they all kind of behaved independently of each other and didn't share any resources. Yeah. So kind of being able to cobble together more of a diverse force, like in Fallout Tactics, to bring it back. Yeah. Have a Deathclaw, have a Brotherhood of Steel Soldier, have a Super Mutant. Maybe all of that's possible. But that would be that I think that I think that's going to be really interesting. You know, if there's a possibility for modular units like that, because yeah, people could make all sorts of, you know, smaller mods and say, hey, here's a bunch of fun NPCs, be they creatures, actors, or whatever from other mods.
Yeah.
And you know, here they are. You could now put them in your faction.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal. We want to see people building up an army out of whatever they want, so that it's more personalized as opposed to. Like you said, it can be fun to like take a like it's like I just want to I want to role play the Brothers of Steel. Well, there's nothing stopping you from do that. But you know maybe you get bored of that and you're like, what would the Brotherhood of Steel be like if they also had mole rat foot soldiers? You know, like that. Why not? So yeah, more fun, more chance for role play, and it'll be easier for people to contribute because like I think the biggest failing of the faction packs was it was so much work, and then if people got tired of it and didn't keep it up, then all of a sudden an entire major faction just like became not necessarily unusable, but like severely limited.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have all the new features. It wasn't. The configurations would change a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, it was an exciting period.
Yeah, it was definitely on paper it seemed good because I figured there would be people like you and Ruined and Tenuvia and Uit who would like embrace it and just be like along for the ride because a lot of you guys like have been here since year one of SS and just been rocking it out. So then like in my head I was like, oh well, people will do that for the major factions and we'll have like a whole new little community, and it was like, nope, that didn't happen at all. I wonder if people didn't want the responsibility, right? Like I don't want to I don't want to have to be doing that good a job at this where everyone's expecting me to deliver this to that quality level.
And it was tough too, just in general with Conqueror, because it was hard not to feel like whatever faction you were doing wasn't just in direct competition with the story there.
Right.
You know, because obviously the story has you play a very specific faction. And, you know, it was great story. I loved it. And that's one of the problems is you're sort of almost competing with that when you design your own faction.
Yeah.
You know, it was a fun little bit of spice for, you know, they could come in as attackers, you know, but it was obviously kind of a big burden to want to create something that you felt like wasn't just a distraction.
Right.
But yeah, that was what it kind of felt like. But
yeah,
it was an exciting time. I mean, it was a whole new set of tools to play with, definitely.
I'm excited to get the 3.0 stuff. I mean, even the HQ 2.0 stuff, I think it'll be fun. I hope some folks embrace it and build some cool stuff with it. But even if they don't, we're gonna be shipping a lot more stuff to play with. And even if the HQ stuff doesn't excite people to build for it, I can't imagine the 3.0 release won't. Like the new expand. I mean, anytime we do like a big release, I think it reinvigorates everybody in the creative side. So like I think we saw some new add-on packs coming out, or people start up again after Chapter 2 released, and it's yeah. I don't anticipate anything different happening with 3.0. I'm sure we'll have the same spark of creativity coming out with that. Did you end up doing anything new with? I mean, I don't think you've ever stopped. So, like I said, did you end up doing anything with the Chapter 2 release, or did you just keep going with what you were going? Like, did you end up doing any hospitals or sanitation building?
Well, I did a cemetery. I did the weird party mausoleum. That was my last.
Party mausoleum. That's right.
I am working on a hospital, and I do have a sanitation thing I'm also working on. So it's kind of been a slow burn, but. Yeah, I've been getting around to trying to incorporating some of those. I did have some ideas for some other plots, but now I'm looking at them as, you know, maybe I'll do HQ rooms instead.
Oh, nice.
So I'm thinking, you know, I'm trying to wrap my arms around that. But that's sort of where I am right now. But yeah, I did have some ideas for stuff. It was just some of them were taking longer for me to get to than I had thought.
The sanitation one was the fun. That one actually came to be because of so many people's building plans, including like showers and outhouses. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, man, that needs its own class. There's so much stuff for that.
Yeah, it was a great idea. It's a great idea for a class. Definitely feels immersive. To have like an element of that in your settlements.
Though I will say it was pretty funny to have everybody came to the same conclusion of if it's a toilet, it produces water, which is pretty gross. But it was funny that a lot of people did that. It was the industrial water production plot.
I remember that was Fallout 3. That was one of the first places you could get water. Go drink out of those toilets. Came out of that vault, go into that elementary school with the raiders or whatever, and start drinking out of those toilets to heal yourself. Never forget that experience.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's check some chat, see if we got some messages. I'm falling behind because I think we just talked for an hour and didn't acknowledge them once. Let's see. I'll leave this one to you to decide if you want to answer it or not. But Shortwind says, "Where is Captain Laserbeam from in the world? He has an eclectic accent." So,
well, I'll say I'm kind of from like the shallow south. I'm from the Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. So yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. I kind of have a real mid-Atlantic accent, not like the fake ones from people that talk that way in the 40s. So that's where I'm from.
Right on. Let's see. Canuck says, Oxhorn has done a playthrough of Fallout Tactics for people who can't find or run it. I didn't even think about the running problem, because it's probably one of those games that like you got to jump through a bunch of hoops to get to run on modern Windows, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, like I said, when I tried to do it, I did it a few years ago. I definitely haven't tried it on my current PC. So that's good to know that Oxhorn did that, because yeah, I always find his videos pretty entertaining. So I'm sure he's got some fun videos of Fallout Tactics.
I never understood, like when Let's Plays were first getting popular. I don't know what, it's been like 10 years now, right, since they've been kind of a big thing. I remember it's maybe even longer than that. I remember being like, who the heck would want to watch somebody else play a game? And now that like I have very little time to game, but I have a lot of time where I'm doing really boring work during the day. I love Let's Plays, like where it's like I like the game really appeals to me. I'm never gonna get a chance to play it, so like getting to experience it secondhand is nice.
Yeah, and it's great too if you're thinking I might be interested in this game. Do I want to get it? Let's watch some other people play it for a while. It's a great way to sort of get a preview for that sort of thing.
But yeah, hearing that for the first time, I was like, what?
Yeah, that was the other thing. It takes me back to being in a friend's house and we'd be fighting over who.
right.
Play. No one wanted to be the person who was just watching other people play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fighting over the controller for those single player games.
Yeah. Or wanting to know who was going to be next in GoldenEye.
Man, what a great game that was.
Yeah. Many whole days of my teenage years.
Well, let's see here. Veni Vidi Lucy King Gath, I was following along your companion lip guides and I ran into an issue. I took the fuse files from one companion mount and wanted to give them to another NPC. I renamed them as it requested the creation kit, but when I click on the path to hear the voice preview in the edit response window in CK, where you can click the generate lip file, does it mean it won't play any sounds either in game? So with the fuse files, there's a couple things I found with that. One is you pretty much have to reload the CK for it to find any new files you put in. So you have to like go through, rename all your files, and then reload the CK, and then it'll be able to play them. That's one thing that sucks. Even if they're WAV files, you still have to do that. So that's probably what you're running into. I've also occasionally found that when I rename a fuse file, it doesn't work correctly. So I tend to just extract, even though I lose a little quality, I tend to always decompress the fuse files, extract the wave using, what's the name of that program? Let me bring it up because I can't remember. It is under tools here. I have a copy of it. No, it's not that. Where is it? Voice file reference tool. This program. I use this program to extract the wave files, and then I regen lips from that. And again, even if you're doing waves like that, you still have to relaunch the CK, or at least, yeah, I think you have to close the CK out completely for it to detect new files. It's really dumb. Maybe somebody out there who's better at CK than me knows a way to force reload them, because that takes a lot of time to do, obviously. But that's what I found, Benny. Scrolling down here, Quester WI. I cannot remember who the YouTuber is, but there are video of Oberland Station build with the vanilla build system of a huge train parked there. I know there's like a train really close to Oberland, and I think you could probably use... There are mods that let you build the trains. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if we have it in Wasteland Reconstruction Kit. But a moving train, I've never seen that. That would be pretty... That's what I want to see. It would be pretty awesome. Oscar Fry, can I post a link to my Discord, SS2 fans? I think only mods can post links in the chat. I think YouTube just eats other links. I also would warn everybody to be careful about Discords lately. I've seen a lot of scam things. Not that I'm accusing you, Oscar, of scamming, but I think everyone should have their guard up with joining random Discords. There's a lot of crazy stuff people have figured out how to do to hijack your account.
Yeah, the hot dog one. Stay away from the hot dogs.
Yeah, the hot dog one. That was the bin post shared around today. Well, let's see. James S. I started a brand new playthrough, and it seems that every settlement I come across has partial city plans already displayed. What is the reason for that? I have no idea. I don't know how that would be possible. Are you running Sim Settlements 1? Did you do the pre-build system? Like, I don't know how that would be possible right now, because we don't... like, all of the city plans are done with scripts, so it's not... like we place them in the world and then you're accidentally seeing those by default. You're making me nervous though, because technically the code for pre-build is like available in the live code right now. It's just dormant. It's not running. I hope, has anyone else seen this happen? Has any else out there been playing in a recent patch of SS2 and found that some of the pre-building or city plans are building without them clicking them? Because that makes me nervous. I am so positive. I have done everything in my power to make sure it doesn't auto-launch, but maybe I screwed up. I have to use the misplaced object tool in every settlement. It works about 60% of the time. Yeah, that's very, very odd. I would say anybody who's having problems with random items, what I recommend you do is turn off auto upgrades in your options. So if you go into either the holotape or in the Sim Settlements 2 MCM menu, there's a section where you can make it so the city plans don't upgrade. So if I go to gameplay under city building, and then I go to, what's it called? Oh, maybe I moved it under leader or under upgrades. Let's go down here. Way down here to auto upgrade city plans. Turn that off if you're finding random items appear, and then that should never happen again. Because what's happening is, when you are stuck on a load screen for a long time and a city plan decides to upgrade during that, it can't find your location. So it just uses wherever you last were before your load screen. And then items can get placed real funky. Carvok, the unlock system for the HQ, you could even just do skins. Yeah, I agree. That could be a cool thing, like what we were talking about Laserbeam earlier, of the HQ to unlock building plans. We could also do it with skins. It would be another cool little research thing, another way to trickle them out to players without cutting them off from your main content. Let's see, Oscar Fry, BOS with Deathclaws and XO1 power armor. There we go. Next, there's the first units to get released. I can't imagine somebody doesn't immediately go release like all the creatures from Nuka World. Like, how many cool creatures are there? There's like
well, you gotta have a Ghoulrilla army.
Yeah, the Ghoulrilla, right? And then aren't there like the Deathclaw reskin as alligators?
Oh yeah, the Gator Claws.
Gator Claws. What else is in there? But there's so many cool creatures to do, which would be fun to have as units for your squad. Discmaster, I'm a bit late, but I made it to the stream. Welcome. Quester WI, have you ever watched any videos by Ranger Dave on what he has built in Fallout 4? Yeah, I think he's done some really cool stuff. I've watched a lot of people who've built designs, because I think at when we were doing Rise of the Commonwealth, when I was assembling the team for that, I was like scouting for people in the community who did cool designs. So I've watched a lot of build videos to learn about different people. Sehuai, Piper, Kate, or Curie? I think I like... I'm torn between... I'm not a Piper fan. I've always found her to be a little obnoxious. I like Kate and Curie both a lot. I would say I probably lean toward Kate over Curie. What about you, Laserbeam? Who's your favorite of those three?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I kind of like Piper. I also like Preston. I clearly enjoy the annoying. Maybe that's
you
what
enjoy
I'm
the meme characters.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I never had a problem with Preston. Like, I get that, like, it is a funny meme to have him, like, like the videos and stuff of him appearing and offering another settlement needs your help. But I never found him annoying when I played with him. So yeah, I don't know. I don't get the sentiment of that, but I always found I've never loved Piper, especially because she's like a main quest character. So like some of the characters, like the favorites, you can completely ignore. Like you could just never see McCready and just totally play the game. And I think that tends to be a character a lot of people like.
Yeah, usually I use all of them at some point because I want to get their perk, but also they're fun to have at various points in the game too.
Yeah.
I feel like there are certain points in the game where it's more fun to be using. It's more fun to have like Nick with you. I mean, you got to bring Nick to Far Harbor, but I do think it kind of sucks that you have to pick between him and Old Longfellow because Old Longfellow is kind of funny too. You know, with his constant comments about his hygiene, that I always find a little bit funny.
Yeah, sorry I got distracted there by Carne talking into wherever my character is standing. My left ear, Carne was yelling at me about doing the Raiders. Let's see here. Oscar Fry. So King Gath thinks I'm a scammer. Sorry, is that what I meant? James S. Not running SS1 stuff. I'm using ROTC for SS2. I think it sounds to me like you just ran into some of the city plans you started are trying to upgrade while you're out and about, and it's leaving crud all over. So I would highly recommend you turn off auto upgrades. They're clearly not working well for your game. I have no idea how to say this. We'll go with the last part of your name. So Warp Claw. Not exactly a moving train in the context you were speaking, but check out the mod. The train quest mod is literally moving trains. That mod blows my mind. I don't understand how they did that. Have you seen that mod, Laserbeam? The train.
Yes, I have. It's really wild.
I don't understand how he did that. Like I can't think of anything in the vanilla game that does anything like that. So how the hell did they figure out how to do that? It's very weird how like that. Like it seems like something how can the engine do that? I don't understand it. I wouldn't know where to begin to even recreate it other than ripping their mod apart to steal the idea of however they did that. Very very cool stuff. Yeah, that's some of the stuff when I see that it's like there's got to be way more. There's probably a lot more this engine can do that nobody is doing because it's not documented or there's not an example for us to steal from Bethesda on how to do it. Nick Carter, what is the best way to fully take down a city plan that has a mayor? To take it down, like to destroy it? You can go up to the city plan bench and there's an option to remove the city plan, and when you click remove city plan, it should ask you if you want to scrap everything. So hey, have you tried out Point Lookout? Which big remake deal mod are you looking forward to the most? I haven't tried out Point Lookout for Fallout 4. I have negative memories of Point Lookout. I remember that DLC was so overtuned with like everything was a bullet sponge, and they hit so hard that I like remember hating Point Lookout because it like made me terrified to walk around that island because I was getting my butt kicked in it. Do you remember that? What did you think about that DLC, Laserbeam?
Yeah, I definitely remember that kind of thing, and I do remember kind of being a little bit irritated with it because, you know, like it's like we brought to you a brand new powerful melee weapon, a shovel, you know, or like there's the double barrel shotgun. It's the most powerful weapon in the game. That always did kind of rub me the wrong way a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the story. I'll say that. I enjoyed the story. I thought the whole aspect with the Punga fruit and that weird mutated fruit, and then the sort of weird rivalry with the Robo Brain and the old British spy, like that stuff did kind of appeal to me a lot. Like I kind of like the wacky kind of off-center vibe. But also it's because I've been to the Point Lookout like area in real life. You know, obviously it's a lot different than how they portray it in the game. But, you know, so that kind of made it enjoyable for me. But I hear you on the whole. Yeah, I remember those hill folk. They were, you know, you'd be using the laser gatlings on them and stuff, and they would still take a lot of hits. So I hear you on that.
Yeah, so that made me like not excited to go try the remake. I want to try the remake. That's one of the ones where I've just been watching a Let's Play because I'm like I don't have a lot of time to play. I really want to see what a good job they did. But I didn't want to play it myself because I just have bad memories of Point Lookout. But I've been watching like Al Chessbreach's playthrough of Point Lookout. As far as which one I'm most looking forward to, I've been looking forward to Skyblivion because I never gave Oblivion a fair shot because I was in the heat of a World of Warcraft addiction when it came out. So I only put in like, I don't know, 6-7 hours in Oblivion, and then I shelved it. And that's one of those games that so many people love. A lot of people even claim it to be one of their favorite Elder Scrolls games, and I love that series. So that's the one I'm most excited for. If you're talking about Fallout specifically, I don't know. I do not have faith that any of them are going to get released. Like that's not like I'm not trying to knock on any of the teams that are behind them. I just know how hard it is and how rare it is for any of these to get created. So I haven't gotten my hopes up on any of them. I was blown away by that Fallout London intro. Like the Fallout London when it first came out, like when it was first announced, where I was just like, like that looks, it looked kind of like it was like a cool idea. I like the idea of an international Fallout. I think there's a lot of room to play there, but when they were first putting out their reveal stuff, it didn't look that exciting. Like it looked like, because there's a lot of if you look at all of the projects that get announced for these games, many of them are clearly never going to see the light of day because they're just random guy is just like, I'm gonna build all of New York, and it's like, no, you're not. Like it requires a level of commitment and a team size where you have to be able to project manage that. And I remember with Fallout London, it gave me vibes of like, this is like a high school kid starting to do this, and like now after they've done so much, it's like, oh no, they're like taking this seriously and it's legit. And actually, I'm gonna have Prilladog, their team lead, on here in a couple of weeks. But Fallout London, I'm pretty excited for now after seeing that. Like, it's like, oh, they're actually taking this very seriously and putting in the work, which is good to see. But as far as remakes, like, yeah, none of them, like the Fallout 3 remake, Capital Wasteland, like I think it got split into two. So like that one was like, that's probably not going to happen. Like it got split into two different teams, and then one of the teams, the one that's been releasing the most content, the one that did the Point Lookout, like two of their key people have just quit modding. So because they're going to work for, they're working in the games industry now. So they're out of it. So that project is done, is dead as far as I can tell. So yeah, I don't know if any of the remakes are going to make it, but if I had to pick a remake mod of a Bethesda game, I'd say Skyblivion. Again, I don't know if it's ever going to make it to the see the light of day because that's been in development for, this seems like forever. But the guy running it, Rebel Z's, he seems to be very good at keeping attention on the mods. So like he seems like he's probably a pretty good project manager. At least as far as keeping morale up, because that helps with morale a lot, is keeping players excited about your content. What about you, Laserbeam? What's of all the announced projects out there for Fallout or other games, or what are you most excited for?
Well, I'm very much looking forward to Bleachers 2 or Finn's Sheriff's Department.
That's going to get released for sure. That one's almost done. That one's been in beta testing for a while.
Done. I've done a little testing. Because I really like the Bleachers one, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. I think that's going to be great. But yeah, I'm also excited to see Fallout London because yeah, that last video they released was really impressive. And I like the idea of maybe like a more melee-centered Fallout game, which I know they've got guns in it, but they've said that's what the gameplay is going to be more focused on. So I think that could be a fun sort of different take on.
Also, they're giving it like the Dying Light treatment.
That's what I remember reading at one point. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how much that's carried forward. There's clearly guns they've got in it from the content they've released of other mods. But yeah, I think the idea is the firearms are supposed to be a little more rare, which kind of makes sense given the setting.
Right. Although I know they have obviously America has guns, right? Like we're known for that. It's a meme.
We got more guns than people.
Right. But I know it's illegal to own guns for civilians in the UK, I believe. But is that a law that's been on the books since before the timeline diverged? or is that a more
That's a good
modern
question.
thing? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So I don't know if they use that as their inspiration, or if it's just like it's just the culture thing of just like
Yeah.
that's like it's American culture that there'd be guns in every house. Whereas that would I'm curious what their logic was, but yeah, that could be more interesting with the melee. Like I do enjoy a good stealth melee build. It's a lot of fun.
But yeah, those are the two ones that are most on my sort of looking forward to.
Yeah, but Bleachers 2 or Fence Sheriff Tournament, that I bet that's going to come out any day now. I don't know what his timeline is, but he's been getting closer and closer to that for a while now.
I think it's going to, and it's going to be huge. I mean, from everything I've seen, we're talking about a new path through the main quest. So,
oh wow,
that's on another level, because that'll basically give you an entirely different way to complete the game than what was there before. So
that's awesome. I know of another. There's another. I'm not going to spoil it of which mod it is, but I know there's another team doing that too. Excuse me. Another mod's going to offer another ending, another alternate ending. So there's going to be quite a few ways to end the game in another year, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Ed Solis, thank you for the donation. Is Faster Workshop lag fix compatible? Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Let's see, Oscar Fry. You need to rename carne asada to carne asada fries. Well, now I'm hungry. I don't want to go. I actually have some fries in my fridge. I bought my kid gave me a little jerk today. we got caught out in the rain, so I ran him into this little restaurant, and I was like, "Come on, we'll grab some dinner. We'll wait out the rain." He's like, "Oh, but you promised to make me dinner at home," and it wasn't even gonna make him anything good. Like I'm a decent cook. But I think he wanted me to make him like eggs, and then I just was not happy with me buying him restaurant food and didn't eat it. I was like, come on, kids are jerks sometimes. I love the kid, but man, when I was a kid, my parents would buy us dinner out so infrequently that it was whenever they did, it was like, yes, we get French fries or pizza or hamburgers or whatever it was we were eating out. And then now I've got some fries in the fridge that I'm probably gonna go munch on for a midnight snack. James S. That's the thing. I hadn't run a city plan at all, and all the settlements have all the stuff pre-built. That's very strange. I have no idea how that's happening. I would recommend you go post on the forums, see if anybody else has had that happen, and then you can post your load order, and hopefully somebody can shed some light on it, because I can't think of how that's possible. Like I said, there's technically code in place to do it, but you would have to explicitly answer some confirmations, and some other mod would have to force started up the systems that control it, because we've got people testing that right now, and it's that no one has ever reported that it activated on its own, so that's very, very odd. Choo-Choo One came in part way, so sorry, but were you talking about smaller faction packs more viable? So basically the faction stuff for 3.0 is much more modular. So like people will be able to do a faction pack where they just like register some individual things, like where it's like, here's some new unit options for your army, or here's some new soldier loadouts, stuff like that, where you won't have to commit to making an entire pack anymore. Quester WI, I just checked the author of the train mod is looking for someone to take it over. And yeah, no, I don't have time for that. Let's see. Oscar, can we get your current Let's Play settlement layouts and city plans? I could give you my one for Sanctuary, because that's really the only thing I built manually. Everything else I pretty much use city plans for. So those city plans are already available. Like there's... so yeah, I could export this for you and toss you the workshop framework. If Oscar, next time you catch me where I'm like on the stream 15 minutes or earlier, like ask me then, and I'll literally export it for you like while we're on stream. But like right now, I think I'm losing Captain Laserbeam. I haven't heard much from him, so I'm sure he's getting sleepy. And I like to go to bed around midnight, so we only got a few minutes left here. Nick Carter, will there be another patch released this Friday? There will not. The next patch is probably going to be a few weeks out. I am in the midst of doing our big HQ overhaul patch where we like flesh out the rest of the departments, and the code changes of that are too big, and I don't want to have to manage two code bases right now. So I've already committed a lot of changes to the live code bases. Well, not the live code base, but our master code base, and I don't want to have to separate it out. So we're just going to delay patching until I finish all this. So probably mid to late June, we will have the next patch, and it'll be a big one. It'll be a very big one. Let's see, Canuck, and what UK laws would have changed with leading up to the resource wars? Yeah, who knows? That's I think like they can with one of the things that's fun about doing a foreign Fallout, and I think this is great territory for a mod team, or for like if Xbox or Microsoft decides that sorry, but those you guys can't sit on the Fallout IP like this. I think foreign ones are great places to experiment because you don't have to stick to the formula. You can try out new things, and people can't get upset because they can. From a lore perspective, you can be like, oh well, it wasn't documented what happened outside, or like you can try out kind of anything you want, and you're not locked in to forcing the Brotherhood of Steel to work, or forcing you're gonna want some of those elements just to like. Hold on, I just lost my mic. You want some of those elements so that it has some familiarity, but I think you get a lot more room to experiment. So I think that's one of the things the Fallout London team gets to have fun with. Laserbeam, how are you hanging in there? You all right?
I'm doing okay.
You're doing all right. Okay. Warp Claw. So question, anyone know what fast food restaurants are in Fallout universe? Thinking about it in the context of possible storefronts in Boston. Yeah, do they even have fast food? You've probably done a lot of research on this when you're building your building plans, Laserbeam. Are there any? It's just Slocum Joe's, really, right? That's not even fast food. It's like a diner.
There's Joe's Spuckies too.
What is Spuckies? I don't remember that one.
So a Spucky is like a submarine sandwich. It's a very term for that.
Okay.
In New England. So there's a few locations of that. Obviously, there's a big one tied in West, but there's a few different locations that. I'm trying to think if there have been references to anything like that in other games, though.
Yeah, you would think that, because like even back then, when did McDonald's come to be? Was that? I feel like that's got to be that came out around in the 40s or 50s, but it didn't blow up until probably till the 70s. I think that's when Ray Kroc took it over. So like, would they have had with the Fallout? Because Fallout tends to just try and like, take our stuff and flip it and make it like alternate versions of it. When was McDonald's founded? 1955. So they could technically say that there might have been a McDonald's type chain in the Fallout universe. Like you can see that Bethesda's starting to push the limits of like, let's dip into the 60s music and stuff of like let's keep it in that era.
There's also multiple Drumlin Diner locations, so maybe that was like a chain or something like that people ate at. It's tough to say though. I mean, I'm really trying to think back to the other games and think about if there's any references to stuff like that, and I'm not sure there is.
It feels like one of that's just going to get added in one time. Like it'll be a Fallout. I think it's kind of like, and what's funny is on a long enough timeline. Like let's like if like say like the Fallout franchise survives for as long as the game lists. Like if there's like if Fallout franchise still exists in actual 2278 or whatever the year is. Wait, what is the year? Is it 22 or is it 20? Why can't I think of it? What is it? It's 20. No, 2077 is when the bombs go off. So the post-war, like in Fallout 4, is like 2277.
I think so.
So like
it's supposed to be 200 years.
Right.
Fallout.
So you think about like when our look of the past of things, of like when we're taking stuff and we're taking like let's say Red Dead Redemption, right? And we're building out the Old West. They can take stuff from like a huge span of years because people don't know what stuff was from what year. So like, and still claim it to be history, right? Still claim it like a historically accurate game without having to name the year. The same thing will happen eventually with Fallout, where it'll be like, they can say it's like, it diverged after World War II, but they can take stuff from a larger period after that because most people won't know like what stuff came after World War II if you on a long enough timeline. Or kind of like if people wanted to make a game of like ancient Rome or whatnot, like you could probably add stuff in that game across a 500-year span and most people wouldn't fact check it or be unimmersed by it. So that'll be an interesting thing to see if I don't know how long these franchises will survive. Are we going to see video game franchises survive as long as Mickey Mouse? I don't know.
I mean, Mario's been around for a while.
Still, nothing comes close to the old to the Disney cartoons. Like those were. When would that have been? That's got to be almost 80 years. When was it? Now I'm over here googling stuff. When was Mickey Mouse created? Because I know he's about to go into public domain. That's why that one's coming. Yeah. 1928. Like that's a long time. That's almost 100 years, right? Like, are we gonna see like Mario's been around since the like early 80s? Maybe he came out in late 70s. So he's still got a ways to go to catch up the old Mickey Mouse. Discmaster, hopefully I'll remember to confirm that the pre-res related issues in HQ are fixed by release of this update. Well, I haven't done anything to fix them, so I know I actually am going to have to regen the previs soon because I'm making a lot of changes to HQ, so yeah, we'll find out. Choo-Choo1, I like the idea of a more modular army system. I can think of some cool 1 or 2 off soldiers, especially, and it's also excited for the big HQ patch. Yeah, I think the switching the faction system to more modular will let more people get involved, and it won't force add-on pack authors to have to like heavily commit. It'll just be like if they did a one and done, it doesn't have to die like with the old faction packs that are out for Conqueror, where like I think the only one that was kept up to date and has all the feature support is the Children of Adam one. I think all the rest, the Brotherhood of Steel one was close, but then I think that guy kind of burned out toward the end, or something changed in his life where he couldn't be involved anymore. I know we had a couple add-on pack authors who like were in the military and they shipped overseas and they're just like, sorry, I can't work on this anymore, which is totally fair. So yeah, it'll be nice to have the faction pack system a little more modular, so the content doesn't have to die. That's one of the nice things about the building plan stuff, is like if people released building plans, like they're good effectively forever. I think the only building plans that never got ported are those by JT Bryant, because no one's been able to get hold of him, and we don't want to, and Next rules won't allow us to just read, so we can't even port it. Like it's one of the only add-on packs that got killed by that. Agent Milkman, it'd be very cool to have some space alien lore quests included in the mod. So I've talked about this on other points, but I always had this idea for like a crazy, silly version of an expansion for some settlements, and I don't think it's going to happen, but one of the things I wanted to have happen in it was to have nonstop alien invasions. Well, it turns out you can already get that now. So there's the mod, I think it's Mothership Zeta. Project Zeta. Yeah, you can have alien attacks come on your settlement. So go grab that mod. It was just released a few weeks ago.
They'll even attack Diamond City, which is fun.
Nice. So it's Project Zeta. So Project and ZETA. Yeah, go grab that mod, Agent Milkman. You can have that right now. Oscar Fry, yes, you need a whole McDonald's settlement. Quester WI, I tried to use the destroy wire feature on 2 settlements and it crashes every time. Also, there is a Fallout set in London now. ESO is playing it on his channel. So the destroy wire, yeah, that is a risk of it. So I've reached out to the script extender team about why it's inconsistent about it crashing, because sometimes it will in one settlement it'll just be like it's incapable of destroying the wires, and then the next settlement it works. I've experienced that as well, and that's going to require a 4SC team to give official support for that, and they seem to not be interested. That 4SC I feel like is kind of in it's in like support mode. Like they'll update if Bethesda releases a new patch, but I don't think they're actively adding any more content to it. It's been like that for 2 years now, which is a real bummer. Because Fallout 4 never got the robust mod scene like Skyrim did. Like we still have tons of mods coming out every day, but there's not a lot of like hardcore obsessed engineers like there are for the older Fallout games, or for like Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim. There are people who are working on crazy engine level stuff for those games that we never got inspired to work on Fallout 4. We've got a couple of them, like Ryan M, who works on Buff Out 4, is doing some pretty cool stuff to help out with the engine, but like the script extender team just never really got into it, or seems to have lost interest in it. I don't know why. As far as Fallout playing ESO playing it, I watched his video on it, and he wasn't playing it. He was watching, or maybe he was playing through the intro, but as far as I could tell, when I scrubbed through the end of his video, he just did the exact stuff that was in the trailer. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe he's just watching the trailer. So I don't think that London is available for anybody to play, and if it is, it's not publicly available. Maybe you could get alpha access, but we can ask. Like I said, I'm going to have Prilladog, the team lead. I'm going to have him on here in a couple weeks, and we can ask him. Carvac, I have another idea with the ladders. Home plate is small, but the area you can build outside of the home is not. Oh, fun. Nice way to use home plate. Yeah, your thing with the ladders was really, really cool in Sunshine Tidings. Remember when I watched the video of that, and you just did like the normal tour, and then all of a sudden you're climbing into stairs, and I was like, what? Didn't realize that the game would let you do that. That was really cool. That was one of those ones where your cinematic view part of the video was very misleading, and you get punished for it. Although I don't know if you did you end up doing the cinematic markers to like let that be part of your thing? I know those cinematic markers can be a challenge to use, but man, that would be a settlement to use them in. Holy cow. All right, Captain Laserbeam, I am running out of steam here myself. Any thing you want to talk about before we call it a night?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground. It was a good talk.
Yeah, thanks
everybody for tuning in.
Thanks for coming on, and thank you for helping out with some of the team stuff. I know you got another building plan in the works right now that we'll probably patch in sometime in the summer, and who knows what you'll do after that. So it seems to be like many of us in the creative field, your availability and production depends on inspiration a lot. So we'll see how you're feeling in a couple of months, right?
Right. Yeah, sounds about accurate.
All right, guys. We will catch you next Wednesday. Have a good night.
Bye.